Hello and welcome to Nature Check's Arda Campaign, the show where you come for the game and stay for the science. Hi, I'm Sheryl and my pronouns are she, her, and I'm the Dungeon Master for the Arda Campaign. I'm also a PhD candidate studying ecology at the University of Illinois at Chicago, and when I'm not doing research, I'm a science communicator and the host of the Roving Naturalist on YouTube. Next we've got Cindy.
I just blocked the mute with my card. Hi, I'm Cindy She-Her. I'm a science enthusiast, and I'm playing Enduring Engineer over on Heroes of Awesome Constellation on the Weirdlings Twitch and YouTube channels. Here, I'm playing Nautia, the Water Method Druid.
Then there's Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm an entomologist, which means all things bugs. And I work in plant healthcare and medical marijuana in Pennsylvania. In my spare time, I'm an avid sustainable landscaper, and I like to talk to people about that as well. And in our game, I play Fletcher, the human wizard, and we both use he, him pronouns.
After that, there's Nancy.
Hi everyone, my name is Nancy. I'm also an entomologist and I live in Quito, Ecuador, where I will tote your butt around the jungle looking at cool bugs. I play a roguish young woman who also happens to be an Aasimar, and our pronouns are she, her, and I'm also in the most ridiculous chair ever because I want to show it off. Ready? Dun, 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 dun. And it has a light. The end.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
If you are caught up on the story, then you know why Peter is not on screen right now, but he is hanging out and getting ready to heckle in the chat. So, you can hang out with Peter in the chat. And last in the lineup, of course, is our BBEG, which stands for Big Bad Evil Guest, Andrew.
Last and least, according to these folks, based on everything that went down last week. Hi, I'm Andrew, he, him. I am the DM and showrunner over at The First Watch, which is a actual play podcast and web series with a cinematic tilt. And I'm playing Mafock, the stunningly handsome druid dwarf BBEG.
Wow, okay. If you are watching us live right now, thanks for being here. As always, if you have any questions for the cast, put them in the chat, and we'll respond, ideally. Of course, be sure to check out the reference section down below for the social media handles for the entire Nature Check cast, and you can come hang out with us on our Discord, where we post memes and fight about things happening in the show and, normal Discord stuff.
Mostly memes, though.
Don't forget, if you are not able to watch us live or you want to share us with your friends and enemies, you can, as always, find the sessions of our TTRPG games in video form on our YouTube channel and in podcast form everywhere. And now it's time for us to actually get into, the show. You have finally found the source of the pollution you were seeking. It is both a mine leaching noxious chemicals into the river and a person whose malice and brutality led to the death of your friend. After putting up a brave fight in an almost one-on-one battle with half of his party missing, Cedric fell before the attacks of Fluffy McSparklepants. But all does not appear to be lost, as Nautia was able to capture the brigand and have the group question him. The strange dwarf has been allowed to live because he says he knows someone who can bring Cedric back to life, but the journey will take 3 days. It is now late afternoon on Selunum, the 8th day of Brightrun. You are all standing at the bottom of the repaired ladder leading out of the mine, and Nautia has parked a cart at the top. Is there anything you would like to do or look for before you leave the mine and make your way back up into the desert?
I don't
think
have
not.
anything.
It's a really long thinking silence, folks. Okay.
No.
I was trying to remember. I was like, is there anything? No.
Okay. So what are you doing now?
I guess we have to leave.
Actually, I guess it's worth asking, what did we do with Mafock's stuff?
You mean fluffy stuff?
With Fluffy's things. McSparklepants. Because I think the axe, we probably don't have any need to take with us, but did we grab the robe? Is someone carrying it, or?
Yeah, somebody had claimed it. I don't know if maybe because Fletcher had asked if it seemed familiar to him.
Yeah.
And
Basically,
Yeah.
did Fletcher grab it?
I was trying to remember all the different like specific items we had talked about. I believe the axe we were leaving behind because none of us could use it, and we didn't want it to be even accessible if something were to happen. I did.
Yeah,
take
there was an
the
axe, there was hide
robe.
armor, there were 2 potions, but
armor.
we used one of them on him, and the robe with the patches.
Yeah, the robe with the patches is what I took.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're not looking around for or to do anything else in the mine. You're just at the bottom of the ladder, trying to figure out how to get everyone back up to the surface.
Yeah, so Nautia is up at the top, right? Everybody else is down below still.
I think so.
Not a problem. Barely an inconvenience. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Point of order, I am unconscious.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's true.
I think I bitch slapped
After
him to
having
next
been
week.
slapped. Yep.
Yeah.
You certainly did.
Well, if we need, like, he wouldn't be. Mafock would not be able to climb up the ladder on his own without us giving him access to his hands and feet again, which we're probably not going to do. So it's probably better he's unconscious because it sounds like we're going to have to like pull him up. Like if all 3 of us get up and all 3 of us are doing that.
We're already going to have to get Cedric's body up, so.
Yeah. Anybody can think of another way to do it besides tying rope and hauling them up.
Just like pull him up by his ankle.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking.
I mean, obviously, like Cedric, we could use the because didn't we have like a sling thing going or?
I don't know. I feel like Fluffy, if he has some collateral damage on the way up, it's not really a big deal. Whoopsies.
So is that what we want to try to do? I don't have anything else that would be useful for going up.
Yeah, sure. We did have, so we've got the ladder, and we did have like a rock up at the top that was used as like an anchor, so we can use that to help with the body hauling.
Yeah, because as we haul up, if we were able to, as we're getting up lengths of rope, wrap it around the rock. So if something were to happen, the person doesn't fall all the way back down. They fall to the next time we secured the rope. So that might be, 5 feet of rope, 10 feet of rope or something.
All right. Well, let's do this, I guess.
Okay, so who's doing what first?
Yeah, who do we start with?
I mean, I feel like we should... I feel maybe Cedric's, because then we can get like Cedric up and plop him in the cart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we start with Cedric, we'll just tie rope, and then both of us need to then just climb up the ladder to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's secured now, so it won't come apart anymore. So.
Yeah. So, like, if one of you can sort of secure the rope at the bottom, and then y'all climb up and we can pull.
Yeah, who's better at using rope? I think Nancy.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
All
gee,
right.
I wonder.
I guess I will use some rope then. I have so many skills. I had to make a book of skills in my notebook. And also find the D20. There it is. Okay. I am going to use the rope.
Okay. Use it real good.
15.
15. Okay, yeah. You tie.
I used it medium good.
Okay, yeah. And you said you were tying it around Cedric's body first. Is that...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you tie sort of I heard somebody use the word sling. So yeah, you don't just like loop it around once and, you know, like it's nicely done so that he is secured even though he can't hold himself. Yeah. And then you're taking the other end of the rope up with you to the top?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
can I tie it around that rock?
Yeah. Give me another use rope.
19.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, well, I followed up after her, so we're all at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, so do we want to try securing as we go? So it's not just like we get them 40 feet up and then it drops.
I don't know. It could be fun to do with Fluffy, but whatever.
We don't want to accidentally insta-kill him, though.
They would have to be a lot further fall to do that.
I mean, he is at 0, and you take
although he is, he's
1d6
unconscious.
of damage per 10 feet, so...
Yeah, that times 2 is...
Shortest guest spot ever.
No. Not by a long shot. All right, so you said you're sort of like gonna like haul up some of the rope and like maybe like loop it around the rock or something like that and keep going. Okay.
Yeah.
So
if it goes down, the weight going down will like come over the rock and instead just like pull and go taut and stop it from falling.
Okay. Yeah, that seems perfect. And if all three of you are working on that together, you don't even have to roll. That's something that you could accomplish because you're going slowly and carefully. So you sort of do that incremental looping the rope around the rock, and eventually Cedric's body rises up through the hole, and you pull it up over the edge, and he's now on the surface with you.
Well, all right. Get him into the cart.
Okay.
And then work on Fluffy.
Okay.
We'll work on Fluffy.
It's Cedric's second time coming up out of the ground.
All right. Yeah, so who's going back down to put the rope on Fluffy?
I guess I will.
Okay.
If we want it secured well.
Oh, well, oops, I rolled a 1.
Wait, serious?
Yeah.
I was just about to make a joke about how bad my rolls on use rope usually are.
No way.
Shiny.
Kay gives zero fucks about Fluffy.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh
my god. Where are my percentile dice?
Well, I tied it, guys.
Double check my spell usage from last week.
You guys can just see that she's just like, whatever, and there's like one lame loop around his wrists.
So just like one overhand knot, like.
Yeah, basically. We did it.
Oh, Lord. What you thinking about over there, Cindy?
Cindy and Ryan, they both look...
No, I'm not kidding. I'm literally going through the math and going, how many heal spells did I use? Because if you do drop him on his head, you could have actually be a problem.
Maybe Kay isn't the best person to do this emotionally charged. Like, theoretically, on paper, she is the best person to do this. But she apparently has a handicap currently.
I will say that, like, if either of you had a legitimate reason why you would, like, look down to check the knot, I would say that, like, it would be pretty obvious that she didn't care and it was crappy, but you'd have to give me a legitimate reason why you would have checked.
No, she always ties knots better than I do.
I didn't even go back down.
Okay. And here we go. Oh, man.
Hey, Andrew, how did your character die tonight? Well...
At least he didn't die from, like, hitting the roof.
Right?
Oh, when he bonked against the closed door? Yeah. Okay. Head's cocked.
How is this party consistent?
You are a lucky son of a gun. So I to tell you, because you'd rolled a 1, I was like, it's gonna fail. When is it gonna fail? And it fails pretty close to the bottom. So I'm gonna like he'll be negative and whatever, but like you'll realize it. Yeah. So he only takes 4 points of damage.
Do I begin the process of bleeding out though?
I guess, but like, yeah, like Kay, you see him fall, so somebody can do something about it, because he does bonk to the floor. But yeah, it was very close to the bottom, so he didn't take a ton of damage.
Kay like looks over and is like, whoopsies.
You said he took 4 damage?
Yeah.
But then if I'm bleeding out, I'm taking another point of damage every turn.
Well,
right?
you can roll some percentile dice and see if you stabilize on your own. But Nautia can fly, so it's only going to be like 6 seconds before she's to you, so...
And like to stabilize him, I can just do a heal check, right?
Yeah.
What am I rolling against? Like, what am I trying to get?
You have a 10% chance of stabilizing, so you could say from 1 to 10
fail.
or from 90 to... Oh, fail. Okay,
Yeah,
so now he's
fail.
at -5. But Nadia's coming to you, so yeah.
Then I will fly down and try a heal check, I guess.
Okay.
I'd say that
wild.
I might have given him some brain damage, but I think he had some brain damage from way before us. So
I mean,
it might be it might be an improvement.
probably would be
11.
I mean, again, it's not like he wasn't eviscerated just now or anything, so you can sort of like, patch him up, hold him still, and like, he's okay. He's not going to keep dying, but he is halfway
to stabilize him.
Yeah, he's like halfway to dead now, but you're stable at -5.
Whoopsies.
Okay.
The dice write the story.
This is fine. I mean, because the thing is, we gotta go wait to walk. So like this, we may just be camping. What time of day is it?
It's late afternoon.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I guess we'll get him tied back up and try again.
Okay, who's tying the knot?
Is that what we're doing?
Can I can try again. I'll actually try this time.
All right, you're gonna actually try this time. Okay.
Chaotic cranky, I love it.
Is somebody assisting Kay, or are you leaving to her own devices again?
Oh, I'll help.
Okay.
I'm still up above, just like watching down the mine shaft.
Yeah.
Just like
he just got shafted.
Kay, you get a +4 from Nautia helping, because she, as a Mephit, has that bindings skill thing.
A 22.
Okay, yeah. This time you tie him up real good.
I really tried this time, guys. He's real good. Like, we might not get him out of here real good, but at least, we won't drop him on his head again.
Mm-hmm.
So now are we back up top and
fine.
pulling him?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay, so this time the knot is much better. So yeah, you're able to, again, you don't have to roll because you're all working together and you've got this nice system with the rock. So you hand over hand the rope, and up comes Mafock's unconscious body, and now he is topside with you as well.
It's a good thing these were 2 dwarves and we didn't have like an orc in our party or something where the 3 of us would probably never be able to lift them up out of there.
Oh, and conveniently...
And neither of them has armor now.
Right. I was just going to say that. Neither of them has metal armor on. All right, so what are you doing now?
Kay pulls out her eyeliner and draws all over Mafock's face.
Hold on. You brought eyeliner on this?
Yeah, duh. It only takes up that much space.
Okay.
I bring eyeliner to the jungle, woman. You think Kay wouldn't put it in her backpack?
Hey. You did
Just
only
for
think you
times
were
like
going to be
this.
gone for a week or whatever, so...
My eyeliner lasts me like 3 months.
No. She's definitely one of those teenage girls that like the eyeliner goes everywhere.
Sure.
You are
Duh.
never anywhere without the makeup.
Sure.
The core
Yeah,
makeup stays with you.
Plus, I imagine that you and Azzy might have come up with creative uses for lots of mundane items because of your shenanigans around town. So yeah, that makes sense. What are you drawing on his face?
Yeah, what are you writing? Like, if found, return to...
I don't know. I was thinking about giving him really pretty, like, fairy markings down the side of his face.
Mm-hmm. Cool. You do that.
Might be into it. You don't know.
You might be.
Then you're going to draw dicks or something. That's so much better.
Might be into that. You don't know.
All right. You've drawn on the face of whatever you're calling this person.
Fluffy.
Okay. And now what? You've got Cedric's body in a cart. You've got Fluffy's body on the ground and now very artfully decorated.
Well, when... She said it's late afternoon?
Yeah. And you guys haven't slept in a long time.
I guess, yeah, we have to decide. So we're coming up on a potential walking period, or we can just set up camp and rest and get up and do just the early morning walking period before it gets hot out.
I am not sure that I can heal him enough for him to be awake without him resting.
Then we definitely need to set up camp.
Just drag him behind the cart, whatever.
It's too much to drag. We've already got a cart and a body to drag around. It can't be two bodies.
Imagine him bouncing along like the cans on the back of a just married car.
Well, he's finally decorated now, so.
Oh.
I mean, we had talked about sort of making a sling with the tents anyway. We could, like, hook him up
Build
behind
it.
the cart.
Yeah. Well,
This
so
will give us
we...
more
Just
time to
not-
think about what we want to draw all over him, too.
So I guess we're gonna rest. We set up. We still have all the tents. We took tents and we have Cedric's supplies. So
Okay.
I guess that's
Yeah. So you're setting up camp for the night, and you said you want to do the like get up early in the morning and start thing.
If at that point we'll be able to, like Mafock would be up on his feet and able to walk, basically.
Sounds good. Okay. Are you guys setting watches?
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there an order for that?
Well, how long are we going to rest?
That's
It's
a
late
good
afternoon. I mean, I assume we want to make it that like what's the minimum? 8 hours to be like a good rest.
How many hit points is he going to get back when he rests? Because is he going to, like, wake up and then
I was just going to
murder all of
ask,
us?
being a -5, where does the
Yeah.
full rest get me
Yeah.
to?
So everybody gets back 1 hit point per level if you sleep an entire night out here camped like this. So again, you have to remember that like your characters wouldn't be like, oh, he's at -5 health. Like that's not right. So like, yeah, obviously like you're all going to get a little better over the course of the night, but you wouldn't know like exactly where he is. But
Yeah.
the math is 1 point
Also,
per level. Also,
For those of us who took, what was it, con damage? Heal
yeah, you heal 1 point
with sleep,
of
or is it?
It's you heal 1 point of ability damage over the course of that long night's sleep as well.
So being a 7th level druid, I would get 7 HP back by the
Correct.
end, which means in the morning I'd be at +2.
Correct.
Okay. Cool. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I guess Kay can watch first.
Okay. Give me
To write murder over his face, but in celestial.
okay.
So
now,
like
that
right
you,
across his forehead.
now that you remember how to write in celestial. Awesome.
Now that I remember how to write in celestial, so it very prettily says murderer across
Okay.
his forehead.
He's also still definitely very tied up.
I mean, yeah.
Just in case, you know. What am I doing? Just like a perception check?
Yep.
13.
Okay. Yeah, you watch for however long it is you guys have decided you're each watching, and nothing much happens. It's late afternoon into evening in the desert, but you don't. Now that you're out of the stone teeth, nothing seems to bother you. Who's going next?
Go next.
Fletcher? Okay, perception.
$23.
Alrighty, yeah. You and Kay switch off as the sun is starting to set behind the mountains, and it's very pretty, and you sit and watch as the light fades, and maybe light your lantern again as it becomes dark out, but it's pretty quiet here. Like, you can definitely hear the rustlings of little desert animals going about their nightly business, which you've heard as you've been walking during the night the last few nights, but yeah, nothing approaches you or bothers you. There are no squirrel-sized scorpions in your camp this time or anything like that. And Nautia?
DM, quick question.
Yeah.
At what point during the night do I hit 1 HP, and would I potentially wake up at that point?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. They don't have it, like, timed out?
Right, so I mean, doing the math, I mean, I'm getting 7 HP back, and there's 8 hours, so it's gonna be late into the 3 watches.
Yeah,
but,
I guess, yeah, probably close to the end of Nadia's watch.
Okay.
As to whether or not you would wake up, roll me a fortitude save. We'll see, like, how rough you're feeling.
That's gonna be a 14.
Okay, so you don't wake up, even though as you're healing, you've been very beat up, and so your body takes this time to sleep, to continue resting and healing.
Okay,
but
sounds
yeah,
good.
Nautia, perception for me.
Yep. 22.
Yeah, you watch the first little bit of light coming into the edges of the sky in the east, but again, nothing seems to bother you all. You're in a relatively quiet spot. And eventually, you all wake up, and eventually, Mafock, you do also wake up. It's just you didn't wake up, like, in the middle of the night kind of thing. Yeah. Did you guys tie him up in such a way that he can speak, or no?
No, he has something in his mouth.
Okay.
Just the, like, normal, like, cloth through the mouth sort of thing.
Oh, the birds sound so nice this morning, don't they?
Good morning. What's his name today, Kay?
Mr. Sparkle Pants.
Mr. Sparkle Pants?
Yes.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Sparkle Pants.
Well, we probably want to head out and get as much traveling as we can. As much as I don't want to, Mr. Sparkle Pants, do you need something to eat?
No, just give him water. Does he need anything to eat, really? I mean, he's kind of chubby, don't you think? I think maybe this is a good time for him to go on a diet.
We need him to be able to keep himself going on this trip. So, I mean, it could be the minimum amount of food that he needs.
Give him some of Cedric's weird food experiments that, like, weren't the best.
There's jerky.
I have no idea what other weird food he had. What else did he? He had a lot.
I don't know. He eats like rat, doesn't he?
It's too bad you don't still have the
His bag's
Sturgis.
right there.
Yeah, the Sturgis.
Did he still have rat on him?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't imagine so.
I don't remember what he had.
No, because you haven't encountered rats in a long time.
Quick question. Was there actual, like, clean water down the hole? Like, there was a point where I could theoretically, like, take the water skins and go fill...
Yes. Yeah.
water.
So sort of like before the underground river was going over the falls that you guys sort of encountered in that big room. So if you kind of like went up above the falls and sort of into that narrow space, the water up there is clean. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna go basically take all the water skins down there instead of spending the spell.
Okay.
Okay. As soon as I see Nautia disappear down there, so that it's just the two of these folks up here with me, I'm a wild shape. I'm going to wild shape into an eagle, which is a smaller form than I currently am. So it's one class size smaller.
Yeah.
I know that I'm roped up, but that theoretically should make the ropes very loose and potentially, not tied around hands and legs and all that stuff. And hopefully get away and fly away.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to make an escape artist check as the eagle, because we had established last time that since Nautia knows about wild shaping, she worked hard to tie you up with this 50 feet of rope in such a way that it would make it difficult for even a wild-shaped you to escape.
So that's going to be based on my on the eagle's dexterity.
Yeah.
Dex, yep.
Okay.
And eagle's dex is
+2.
+2.
All right, so so anything additional to that +2, or is it just the dice plus that
If Eagle doesn't have an escape artist skill listed, then it's just going to be the +2.
It should. No. Skills, listen, and spot. So that'll be an 11.
Okay, so you turn into an eagle, and you shrink down a little bit, but she tied rope everywhere. And again, it's 50 feet of rope, so now not only is it all tangled around you, it's also heavy. Now that you're smaller, and you're sort of awkwardly in it. Like, you can work your way out of it, but it's not an immediate thing.
No, I'll continue kind of flapping and twisting and whatnot to get out of the rope.
Can Kay, body slam him? Just jump
Yeah, the way his shape-shifting was described previously was there's a lot of noise and movement involved with it, and we're sitting right there, so we definitely see he's doing something.
Yeah, okay. Kay wants to body slam him. Give me, so you'll make opposed grapple checks.
Okay.
So that's your base attack bonus plus your strength or dexterity plus 10.
Okay.
Don't bother rolling.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
It's a natural 1.
Oh!
The bad luck from yesterday continues tonight.
Hey, it's because I'm DMing again.
Yep. You're the anti-Andrew.
Yes.
Kay is like, Nautia, he's doing the thing! Get back up here! He's doing the thing!
I imagine you land on him and he makes a rubber chicken noise.
She's has a wing in one hand and is pulling out tail feathers.
Oh
no.
Okay, let me know when I can take another action then.
Yes, your turn again.
Okay. We established last time that I
Fletcher
can
wants to do something. Sorry.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, Nancy's on top of him. So since with Nancy on top of him, I'm going to go over and try instead and be like, well, if you'd rather stay in a small shape, okay. And I'm going to try to grab rope to basically put more closely around now his eagle legs.
Yeah.
So that he's now, so if you try to go back to normal from this form, the rope is probably going to cut you apart because you're going to be expanding inside of a tight ball of rope.
That's rude. Give me a use rope check. This is amazing.
Not that this might work because he's flailing everywhere, and I'm sure I'm not very good at use rope. So
we'll see what happens. You never know.
Oh, it's a not dirty 20.
Oh, a dirty 20. You managed to sort of re-wrap it around his tiny little eagle legs. Okay. Now it's your turn, Mafock.
Okay. I recognize what's going on, and I lie still in eagle form.
Okay.
Well,
that was fun.
Just for fun, I guess I will try to nip one of them.
Okay, which one are you trying to nip?
Oh, definitely K. Definitely K.
Roll an attack as an eagle?
Natural 20.
Oh my god!
So I need to confirm, correct?
Yes.
I get bitten by the chicken. Awesome.
Natural 18 on the confirmation.
Yeah, that's a confirmed critical.
1 on the damage dice.
Hey!
So total of 6 points of damage from the bite.
This would have been so much better if I'd remembered.
And it's super petty. It's not even I'm not really trying to fight. I'm just
But he gets you real good on your finger.
Fletcher, we missed a spot. The mouth part Could we like tie that a bit better? He bit me. Look at, I'm bleeding. The fucking chicken bit me.
Trying to see if I have anything we can
points of
use.
damage is for non-trivial. That's gonna be like a.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
fair.
Yeah, 6
Apologies,
Points, 6 points is a lot.
I was looking at the wrong stats.
That's gonna leave a mark.
It's only 4 points of damage,
okay.
not 6. Apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I guess we also need to tie up that beak.
Question.
Yeah.
If my bird friend is still there,
Yeah.
what would the sort of territorial behavior be at
Oh,
that
that's a
point?
great question.
Oh.
Well, so she is young and kind of small, and in fact, you rescued her after she was on the wrong end of a territorial dispute. So I feel like, if she suddenly encountered him, I mean, the two of them moved so fast that she might not be able to be like, oh, it's an eagle, like, flying around. Like, obviously he's contained. I think she'd probably be curious, but also probably not get too close because she has not established any particular place as her home yet, and she is following all of you, but you aren't hers yet either. So yeah, I think she'd be curious, but she's not necessarily gonna join the fracas or anything.
Okay.
Kay takes one of those tail feathers that she pulled out and sticks it in her hair.
Gonna keep
As a-
mementos? Okay.
And to assert my dominance.
When he
Well,
shifts back, is
I
the
feel
feather
like-
gonna still be there?
I feel like it's important to point out that, like, it's only a feather because he's in eagle form, so that would have been some other part of him.
Yeah, what does it correspond to? Just like a chunk of hair?
That's
guess?
what I was
Toenail.
Like
thinking.
his beard, or like...
Whatever. It's a feather for as long as he's an eagle, and I'm gonna wear it as a sign of dominance.
Okay.
Well, Fluffy, you just made this even harder on yourself. So I guess we're going to have to ask you to just kind of point with your head where we need to walk. Because you're staying tied up as an eagle now. You chose this.
I lie still.
Okay.
He should be a lot easier to drag now, though.
True. But his end of this bargain was to tell us which way to go. So if he now decided he doesn't want to do that,
We can just kill
I still
him?
I have a number of spells I can use, and we can just end it.
So what do you think, Mr. Sparkle Pants? Do you want to point which way that we want to go, or do you want to die a fiery, horrible death?
I'm currently completely tied up, including my beak,
That's true.
and just lying there on my side, like the big eye, kind of twitching in directions, like
But your
hard for me to
neck and
communicate
head,
anything.
your neck and head are free, so you can turn to point with your beak where we need to go.
I kind of flop in a couple different directions.
I mean, it is a fair point that, like, it probably would be difficult for an eagle to, like, do anything if it can't stand, so...
Like, they're
Nautia.
not that big. So if the beak is like,
Yeah.
that's a lot. That's a big rope on a smallish beak.
Yeah.
Anyway, when Nautia comes back
Yeah.
out and sees all of this,
Yep.
she's going to recommend that maybe we use some of the tent canvas instead of the rope. Well, like in addition to the rope.
Oh, can we just shove him in a bag? That's not a bad idea.
He can't stay that way forever, I think. Pretty sure that's
So-
how that works.
So, like, what happens? If he stays there forever, he gets stuck, or, like, he'll just get big
No,
enough?
like
No,
he'll
it
just
reverts
turn
back.
back.
Oh, I
It
see.
reverts in like an hour.
So then
or
he'll be
something.
dwarf-sized again, and I mean that will be very uncomfortable for him. But also, if he changes again, yeah, I think sort of a tent, because then he can't get out as easy. Maybe.
But then if he transforms again and he doesn't have anything tied up on him,
You just sent the tent on fire.
No, still tied up, but like the tent covers more. kind
Kay's in
of.
a mood. I feel like Kay's in a mood every episode.
I mean,
So you want to like
Basically-
ball and burlap him like tree roots?
I like that.
I'm not
Put
sure.
him in the canvas and then wrap around that with rope and just kind of like leave his head poking out.
Mhm. So if he changes into something smaller, he can't get out because the canvas is too much. And if he transforms into something bigger, it's going to be a problem for him.
I like it. I'm good with that. Then we can just hold him around like this and be like, do we go in that direction?
It's like a
Do we
divining
go
rod,
in
but a
that
bird.
direction?
Yeah. You
We
know,
can
to
use him
hold
like,
him
what are they,
down.
dowsing rods? But like a dowsing pigeon.
All right.
Is that what we're going to work on now?
Man, you kill one party member.
If he doesn't
and
want to
this
help,
is
we
how
can
they
just
treat
kill
you.
him. It'll be real easy.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, let's try. He won't cooperate without having a little more movement around his head, I guess.
Wiggle
So-
room, I guess.
but not too much.
Okay, so you do that.
Otherwise, the only other option I could think of was like going full mafia and like snapping his legs and wings so that they would be broken in all of his forms and he couldn't move.
Yeah, but then we'd have to drag him the whole way back in dwarf size, and that would be a lot.
Yeah,
We could just break his arms.
and he couldn't fly, and he also couldn't use them to cast things.
Yeah, see? I like that idea. So let's do that. Let's put him in the bag and see if he cooperates. And then if he doesn't, we can just like snap those little wing bones of his. Don't birds have like hollow bones or something? I think I read that in a book once.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of rocks around.
Mm-hmm.
This is where things go when things are when there's no cooperation. Like that's just.
Scientists are people too, I guess. Okay.
I'm legitimately having this like Cindy's not okay with this, but not
Like, okay.
Oh
all right.
yeah, normally this would be abhorrent to me. Like I can't even watch horror movies. Like I don't watch anything.
Yeah, I feel like Eric makes a great point, which is kind of where I was going with this last time too, is like, you have to remember that like, what your characters do is reflective of their alignment and vice versa. So, you know, keep that in mind.
So feel
He's
free
also
to
alignments
showed
aren't-
absolutely no remorse or compunction
Yeah.
to be good in any way, which is
And alignments
not
aren't
okay.
permanent and will
No.
shift within a situational context. When you have someone being this uncooperative when you're trying to make a deal after doing something so evil and abhorrent, then why would we not shift towards saying we don't even think of you as a person anymore? Because frankly, Fletcher doesn't.
Kay doesn't even believe in the gods. So, I mean, she goes in the ground when she dies.
And Nadia's got no good reason to stop them.
So here we are.
She's real mad.
You are. Oh, I'm not stopping you from making decisions. So
Like, I didn't want it to go this way, but this is how things have happened.
fair enough.
We're thinking about breaking his wings. We're not going to light him on fire in the bag.
Okay. So you're making a bag?
So we're starting with just the bag.
Okay,
And
we're
ball and
starting with
burlapping him.
Okay.
So there's like wiggle room inside, but cinched like at the top.
Right.
So that, you know, so it's like held in.
Yeah. And you have multiple 50-foot lengths of rope, so you can
Oh, yeah,
accomplish
yeah.
this, no problem.
Once
and maybe and I was just saying maybe also with like slack between them in case when he reverts back and he'd be able to walk using some of that rope kind of like shackles, sort of just like around his legs, so it'd be like around his ankles.
Mm-hmm.
So even though he's in the bag, there's still like a restriction on the movement.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So once I'm kind of tied up in eagle form in this bag, do I have a sense that like I've got enough wiggle room to shift back to my normal form without getting, garroted?
I think their intention was that you could do that without it insta-killing you.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Is that correct? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
If I get that feeling, then I actually will just go ahead and shift back into Mafock form. So apparently it's just a dwarf head popping out of the bag at the moment.
Yeah.
With part of your beard missing, question mark?
Yeah. Oh, beard or hair or something.
Well, yeah, a little patch of hair off the back.
So does that mean Nancy now has a tuft?
No. No, it's still a feather.
Well, you can't blame me for trying.
I think we can, actually. We had a deal, if you don't remember.
Well, the deal was under duress.
This whole situation is everybody under duress constantly. So
Yeah, what point did you stop being under duress?
So what are we doing? We're on our way for the morning?
Yes. Would you like to point us in the direction?
Certainly. Nothing if not cooperative. That way. I kind of jerk my head towards the mountain range.
So to the west.
To the west, yes.
okay. I do give him.
Oh, can I do a sense motive? Because he could be lying, right?
Yeah.
Are you lying to us?
Go for it.
I don't know.
I do give him we have all that preserved meat. I do give him a small piece
of meat.
Thank you. So kind.
I got a 22 on my sense motive.
Okay.
Are you lying to us?
The mountains are the direction that I want us to go. Yes. The west.
Yeah, but are the mountains where we want to go? You want to go there, but is that where we want to go?
I don't know that's a that's a question for you to answer, isn't it? Like you asked what direction he wanted to take you, right? That based on your last conversation. So yeah, he wants to go to the west.
I guess we have to start walking.
Are you all carrying me, or are my legs going to be free to walk along? I don't mind being carried. It's that would be quite comfortable.
It will be easier if we let him walk.
We can cut the bag like a diaper.
The bag.
I was gonna say if we just put 2 holes in the bottom, so just his feet can stick out. But the rope, we do have that rope that's like shackles around connecting the ankles, so we can only take little
baby steps.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are in a desert. We don't want him to be a hindrance.
Oh, Peter says that Cedric still has bug meat on him. We can feed him the bug meat.
Oh yeah, there's onkeg meat. Sounds great.
Was that preserved or cooked or anything?
Who cares?
I
Feed
don't
to him
know.
anyway.
Sounds
Oh wait,
delicious.
did he do something with the spices he bought from the
cook it?
Thrycreen? I don't know.
Oh,
There's been so
that
much
might have
food
been-
talk on this
No, I
show.
thought
I
the
can't keep
jerky-
it straight anymore.
No, the jerky was from antelope.
Yep.
When he got a lot.
Well,
from
he
the
says he
plane.
has smoked antelope and bug meat. We've got antelope jerky, but there was also bug meat.
I think those spices went to the onkeg because that was right before we made it there.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. All right, and you are beginning to move west, I guess.
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah, and if we're moving west, I want to pop up and do a perception check.
Okay. So Nautia is popping up to do a perception check, and what are the other 2 of you doing? Because you've got Mafock and the cart with Cedric's body. So.
Yeah, how are we dividing up? We definitely want. I'd say.
Well, we can tie Mafock to the cart, and then Fletcher and I can push the cart.
Okay.
Oh, it's just like a little lead of rope, so he can't go. Okay,
Okay, that works.
that makes sense.
Nadia, what'd you get on your perception check?
21.
21. Okay, yeah. So you can see laid out before you more desert, more of, the same. You've come to know it pretty well over the last week or so. And yeah, the mountains are not exceptionally far away now that you're on the other side of the stone teeth. So you get the feeling, based on what you are able to see of the landscape, that maybe somewhere in the mountains is where he's intending for you to go, since he said it was a 3-day journey.
And about how far do the mountains look?
Like the foothills you might reach after.
Yeah, like basically how long will it take us to get to the foothills?
Yeah, like a day and a half.
Okay.
So it's going to be like in the mountains if it's 3 days.
I mean, it makes sense. He's a dwarf, right? How much did Cedric talk about the damn mountains? You're getting there now, Cedric. I hope you're happy.
Your friend, he was a religious type, wasn't he? Morden, I'd imagine.
That's putting it lightly.
Yeah. He's a cleric of Morden.
I used to follow that practice a long time ago. Are you going to do the
A
rites?
little from it, huh?
Are you going to do the rites for him? For his body?
We don't know them. He was the cleric of Morden.
Pity. Hopefully Morden accepts him.
Hopefully he doesn't have to.
Yeah, that's the whole point of what we're doing here and our deal with you. So Morden doesn't have to even deal with that.
Search yourself.
I'm like struggling to tell, like, I'm like curious about you, but I also like don't want to acknowledge your existence.
I just don't trust anything he says, ever.
I mean, he did say he was going to help us, and then, you know, instantly tried to escape the second Nautia turned her back. So,
well,
yeah.
to be fair, that was still very much a fight or flight situation. I don't know that you're not planning to off me.
Well,
right
that's the thing.
Do you think we would have
don't know
left
if you're
you
actually
for
going to
Dory?
do?
So far, my time with you has included being ambushed in my own mine,
We
being
won't.
tied up and tortured.
Your mine was destroying an entire river. Your mine is killing people right now still. It has been for months. Do you know how many people depend on that river?
Do you know how
Do you know how many beings you are killing?
you know
don't
how many
care.
people
You don't
depend
know
on
and
the
you don't
gold
care.
and the ores that I mine?
And
No,
it's
not really.
They don't live in those ores, you monster.
And it's also interesting that the only reason any of that turned into a fight and all of these things happened is because of what you did.
Yeah, you started
attacked
it.
people. You tried to kidnap our friend here, which we'll get to
kidnap
that.
her.
We'll find out why you were doing that as well.
He kidnapped me?
He
Oh,
put
I had
in a
you tied
barrel.
up much
Yeah.
like you have me tied up now.
You did?
Yeah, we both got knocked out, and Cedric pulled me away, and then you were gone.
I said we should have killed this mofo like way back in the mine, and y'all like I was tied up,
This
and
is
y'all
the
were
dilemma I've been having too. The only reason he's still alive right now is that maybe he can help us with Cedric, but then if he doesn't, then we can just get rid of him and we can figure something else out, maybe? I don't know. But he really doesn't deserve to live.
Fletcher, don't you have like a silencing spell or something so we don't have to listen to his annoying
Don't
voice?
waste it, just use some fabric.
Oh, you see, part of my cooperation is going to rely upon my comfort as well.
That was not part of the deal. You
I'm
said
making
alive.
I'm making it part of the deal. Unless you want to scour through the mountains by yourself with no direction.
I like how you want to talk now, but back in the mine, all of that could have just been a conversation where we could have talked about the water and your mining and everything, but you started this.
I look over at
I want
Nautia.
you to remember that.
I look over at Nautia. Do you think you would have been talking to me? You seem ready to tear me apart regardless.
I was ready to tear you apart because you had already torn my friend apart. He was dead. I woke up and he was already dead because of you.
I look over at this body of Cedric. He is dead.
Yeah. Only reason you're not is because you might be able to fix that.
It's a beautiful day for a walk. Let's keep walking.
If I were you, I would not be really so worried about your comfort now. I would be more worried about whether we're going to kill you after our friend comes back to life or not. Maybe that should be in your bargaining. Maybe you can think about that for a little bit.
I'll cross that bridge when it flips over.
Oh yeah, that was really fun.
You all had a hard time with that one.
And granted, normally we are not that kind of people, but something about you just
special.
Makes me want to just leave you out here to be eaten by vultures.
I have that effect on people.
No wonder you were in there completely alone. I don't think you've probably had anyone in your entire life who could stand you for more than 30 seconds.
I haven't needed them.
Now that's the sign of someone who's truly weak.
We'll see.
And then I kind of kick him in the butt to make him keep going forward.
Yes, sir.
Nautia, as you move, is going to remain directly behind him, except for when she occasionally pops up.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, will not lose eyesight on him.
Well, Nautia, if Kay and I, do you want to be behind him or also coming up from behind and flying so you're ready in the air? I think it would be good for you to be already aloft.
I will pop up from time to time, but she wants to be basically within reach, having seen what he did when she went down in the mine for water.
Okay.
I'm guessing our next part of our walk is probably going to be in silence.
Yeah, probably.
That was the vibe I was getting, yeah.
Oh, I'll whistle quite often.
Not a word from her. Not a single word from her.
Kay hears us whistling and sings obnoxiously.
Okay.
And make sure that whatever I'm whistling clashes with her melody very
Love
harshly.
Love that.
So it's as obnoxious as possible.
Okay. How long are you planning on continuing to move? Are you moving into the hot part of the day, or are you going to stop like you had been doing?
Well, we know all the kinds of bad things that will happen to us if we try to keep walking.
That's true.
In the middle of the day. And I don't know if we want to be ourselves be weakened like that for any reason. So I would think we'd probably stop.
Okay. So you're going to talk.
Like how we've been doing before. Maybe slide Cedric like under the cart, so he's in the shade of the cart.
No sunburn. Okay. Yeah, so you set up camp and you take a rest. Are you doing anything particular while you're taking the rest, or is this just you're going to take your rest and then get up and start moving again?
I'll ask to be let out of the bag to relieve myself.
Do you?
We can cut a little pee hole for him. Would you like a bottle to pee into?
This is why D&D doesn't deal with going to the bathroom. Because we don't need to talk about it.
We've been here once before. Let's.
Oh, we can give him a diaper, guys.
We can assume we accommodate those things in some way.
Okay. That some way that doesn't involve him leaving the bag. Is that what you're getting at?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like we can make it into like
partially out of the bag, but.
Or we just put like those pajama pants with a little butt flap. We can put one of those on the bag.
There's a butt flap on the bag. Amazing.
Yeah.
Not a tent anymore. Okay.
Yeah, we're pretty much killing one of the tents.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Or
It's
someone will
intense.
just have to, if it rains, someone will have to deal with a little bit of dripping.
No.
I think, so since it's like an 8-hour period of the day where it's super hot, right? If you think of it as like 3 8-hour periods during the day.
Yeah.
While resting, I think I want to spend some time with that robe just to like investigate it.
Yeah, give me a knowledge arcana check.
20.
Okay. Yeah, so you spend some time with it and eventually realize it is a robe of useful items. It comes to you after you think about it for long enough. That eccentric professor that you'd remembered wearing one of those at the university, he could take patches off of it, and when he removed a patch, it would turn into an object or something like that. So this robe has a bunch of patches on it, and I can send you a list of the patches that remain later, if you would like. Ones that are perhaps immediately useful. There are 2 patches that would turn into daggers, one that would turn into a length of 50-foot rope, one that would turn into a sack, and one that is a scroll of obscuring mist, and one that is a potion of cure serious wounds.
Wow, you're really patched together, weren't you?
Yeah, I'd like to have that back at some point.
No, I think it's ours now. Thanks. Finders keepers, as the rules are.
That's where the hole came from.
Yeah.
Anybody else doing anything while you rest in the shade out of the heat of the day?
I feel like we should take naps and take watches
Okay.
and take names.
Are you doing anything with your prisoner, or is he just allowed to rest as well?
We should allow him to rest because then he'll at least be quiet.
Okay.
But maybe we can hit him a few times, knock his hit points back down.
You're welcome to try.
Oh boy.
So we're like in the middle of the desert now.
Yeah.
Like we're in the span between my mine and the mountains. Like there aren't any other markers or areas for shade or anything like that.
Not really, no. They've made this sort of bivouac here, but it is pretty darn hot outside
Okay.
of the shade that they've created, yeah.
Sounds good. I will kind of look around at some point and be like, look, we're leaving a lot of tracks, and there are things out here that it would be better to not be found by.
Oh, perfect. Well, if we do get found, we can leave you as bait, and the rest of us can get away.
Look, I know you don't trust me, but I want to survive this as much as you do. If you let my hands free, I can do a bit of magic to stop us from leaving tracks behind as we're going the rest of the way. Nothing would be able to follow us.
Fletcher's shaking his head hardcore.
I was actually reading something on another window.
Or by all means, let's take our chances with all the wild beasts out here.
Let's take our chances with all the wild beasts. I'll take watch first.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, good. Okay. This makes complete sense. You've obviously never been out here before.
Nope.
Okay, Kay, if you're just taking the first watch, go ahead and give me a perception.
Frankly, at the moment, we don't have the party member with us who's the most prone to getting tangled up with the wild animals.
I got a 9.
9.
I'm distracted.
Yeah, you're fuming. You're also admiring your art that you've drawn.
She also is particularly grumpy and like draws stuff in the sand. Like Kay was here just to be more obnoxious about it and come and get us.
All right.
Wait, hold on, Miss Sparklebutt. Do you think I spelled that right? No, I think I messed it up. Hold on.
Let me see. I can't from this vantage point. Let me look.
It's okay. I wasn't actually really asking you. I don't care.
Oh, okay. And just for clarity, is this the midday nap or is this evening time?
It's like the midday.
Nap.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Basically, this is their way of avoiding having to make fortitude saves in the hot sun.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so who is watching after Kay?
I can if I didn't need this full time to look at the robe. Like if
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm able to do that in a chunk and then do a watch on Mafock and around us, I can take a shift.
Okay. Perception.
And in the desert, if there's like any kind of wind, wouldn't our tracks disappear pretty quickly because of the sand? Like it just moves so quickly that the tracks we left behind us by the time we're even like done with our rest should just be gone.
Depends on the terrain.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of what you've
Because if we're in heavy sand, we'd be having trouble with the cart.
Right. Yeah. A lot of what you've crossed is more
like packed earth or like...
Yeah, like packed earth or rock.
Yeah.
I think I described when you first got into the desert, there was a lot of like biocrest and stuff. So like that, you can leave tracks in, but even still like...
That's kind of what we're in now.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm doing perception?
Mm-hmm.
That's only an 8.
Yeah, you also seem distracted. What are you doing during your watch?
Maybe that's what I'm still thinking about the robe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, but nothing... Hello, puppy. Nothing happens of any note unless Mafock is doing something.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Nautia.
Sorry, there's a dog now. I'm distracted.
I will say every time I see one of the party members starting to drift off to sleep a little bit, I will whistle another tune just to try to keep them awake.
Wow.
It's a natural 20, so it's 28 perception check.
Nice.
I see the world.
You do, as usual. Gosh, Nadia. Okay, yeah, so you are taking your watch and you're definitely keeping an eye on Mafock, but you're also very curious about the mountains and where, he is taking you. And so you spend a good amount of time scoping out the mountains and because of your astounding eyesight, you're able to get a lot of details about the eastern faces of the mountains, so what you're approaching, even at this distance. So you can see that it's sort of like a scrubby chaparral type vegetation that goes up the sides of these mountains. And they're fairly steep, which, to a modern day geologist would tell us that they're fairly young. They haven't been eroded a lot yet, so they're still fairly steep and fairly sharp in their peaks and things like that. And you can see all of this sort of like scrubby vegetation. So you imagine that even up into the mountains themselves, it's still going to be dry. Maybe not quite as dry or quite as hot as the desert, because you can see some pockets that are shaded and the vegetation seems a little more lush there. So you get the impression that there might be some sort of like pockets of moisture within the mountains and all of the crags and things. But for the most part, yeah, it seems like it's going to be dry, arid, like the desert where you are right now.
All right. Then also, I guess while I'm on my watch, I'm going to kind of look around and see if I can sort of figure out sort of what tracks are we leaving and how could I mitigate that.
Okay. The tracks that you're leaving are sort of occasional crushed areas of the biocrust. So it's one of those where, like, if you wanted to, like, walk a little more carefully and sort of like ziggy-zag your way between those things, or you're probably not walking a lot of this, but if your friends wanted to ziggy-zag and not step on or roll the cart over as much of the biocrust, that would probably lessen the amount of tracks you're leaving. But yeah, it's not a huge amount. So, because it's not like there's just a even carpet of biocrust everywhere, right? So it's not like you can see the 2 cart tracks forever or anything like that.
All right, then as everyone's sort of waking back up, I will quietly communicate that to the other two.
Okay.
So I guess then if it's the three of us sort of discussing amongst ourselves, it's like, well, then do we want to believe him and try to take a more careful route? And because he may be telling the truth about a danger out here, but I wouldn't trust him to be telling the truth about using his magic just to protect us.
There are ways to cover tracks without magic.
So do we want to take the time to do that?
It's not a bad idea. It's not, at least here, it's not super hard.
Okay.
But I'll keep an eye out for, at least it's open and flat, so if something will be able to see it, I'll be able to see it.
Also, Nautia, you would have noticed, I guess, since your perception was so amazing, Mafock's not leaving footprints anywhere.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
You have trackless step.
Oh, right, druid.
Yeah.
Ability. Yep. Yep.
You're that high level druid. There's stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, first time high level druid in 3.5. Thank you, DM, for that wonderful ability.
Yeah. Well,
if we're gonna try to prevent leaving tracks as we go then, and start walking again.
Yep.
Yeah.
okay. You continue moving now that you're into the cooler late afternoon, nighttime-ish time. Are you doing anything as you continue walking, pulling the cart, and, frog stepping Mafock towards the mountains? No?
Sipping a little water.
Yeah.
All three of us just like swilling and shaking our heads.
Okay. Yeah. In that case, I will sort of fast travel us to the foothills. Unless, Mafock, you have anything else you'd like to try in the meantime.
I mean, are we gonna have to camp out in the desert in the evening?
What was your guys' plan? I think.
Are you gonna walk through the night, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing, because what were we doing before? Because it was a two break thing.
Yeah, I think you were breaking like in the deepest, darkest part of the night and also the hottest point of the day.
Yeah, the coldest and the hottest parts.
Yeah.
Of it.
Yeah, we had been doing that. So would we stop again when it's getting cold, or would we? It would be really uncomfortable, but we want to keep going and cover as much ground as we can. I don't know. Like, what decision would we make?
I think I'd rather cover ground.
Because, like, we did get that full rest.
Mm-hmm.
And then we probably won't need the midday break once we get into the foothills.
Yeah, I would rather keep moving too. And I know that it's like I can't see in the middle of the night but Kay can, so I know she can be leading us the directions we need to go.
Yeah, and I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm not overly worried.
Okay. So
yeah, I'm a fan of not being in the desert if possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not going to take a break during the coldest part of the night. You're just going to keep going.
Yeah, I want to, like, if we could somehow get there in less than 3 days and be rid of him, I feel like we would.
Okay. Let me go back to the environmental thingy.
Yeah, it might get so cold that,
Right.
maybe there's something else.
Yeah. There's rules for hot, and there's rules for cold, and I never remember what part of the book they're in. There we go.
You really should get him the rights. I'm not saying that my person won't be able to bring him back, but just in case.
I mean, can we give him the rights after we decide that?
As the longer you wait, the less chance Moradin will welcome him into the forge.
Do you know what the rights are?
I do, but I'm in a bag.
But your mouth is moving as you're clearly demonstrating, so you could tell us what to do.
It's complicated.
See, all these little reasons you've been peppering in all day about why we should give you your hands back. And
My hands are very much a part of everything that I do.
Yes, that's the whole point, which is why they're going to stay in the bag.
Yeah, including murder, which is why we want you in the bag.
To be fair, it was my tail that murdered him. But you weren't able to see that.
You're not helping your cause.
Yeah, I don't think,
If you're walking in the coldest part of the night, I'd like everybody to make a fortitude save for me, please.
It's just a D20 plus
your
whatever your
fortitude
fortitude is. 23.
Okay.
27.
Sorry, 23, 20, 27. Is that what you said? Yeah.
Sorry, 26.
26. And Fletcher?
Yep.
14.
14. Okay, so everybody but Fletcher was highly motivated to make the save. Fletcher, you take 5 points of non-lethal cold damage. It's chilly.
Darkest part of the night. Well, actually, real quick, I actually need an answer to my question in Discord, DM.
No. So I was saying if you had gotten...
Gotcha. Okay, then never mind.
Yeah, sorry.
Never mind. I continue walking like a good dwarf.
Okay. Alrighty. So you're continuing on. Fletcher, are you going to do anything to try to mitigate the chili, or are you just taking it?
I mean, I think I had the other robe, and now that I kind of figured out what it is and what its use is, and it's getting cold, I think I'd put it on over my robe as well.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm only going to make you do one because it's not like it's going to be that cold for that long. So we'll just do the one for now. And yeah, you walk through most of the night. Are you walking all the way to the lightning in the sky?
If we have the energy to make it to our normal, stopping and setting up camp point, I think we would, but we just did a lot more walking than we normally would, so we may be ending a little bit earlier
we just did sort of a
than
day and a
that,
half.
when we're just we need to stop and rest.
Yeah, let me...
Yeah.
The robe looks good on you, by the way. It's a little short because it was meant for me, but...
it's a magic item, so it actually changes size with...
Let me have this. Let me have this.
No.
No, it's magic. It's magic.
Not
It
even the
resizes.
DM
Everything
is on
magic
your
resizes.
I invited you here, and I will not. So you are, I'm going to say, not all the way fatigued, because you did take that midday rest, but you'll be sort of halfway fatigued. So you can't sprint, duh. And you would take a -1 penalty to things that require strength or dexterity, but it sounds like you're going to take a rest eventually, so that's not a super big deal during the night. Okay, and you're gonna now take another midday rest.
Yeah, probably stopping a little before we would have normally stopped at second set of walking and how we used to be doing our walking to set up camp and rest through the middle of the day.
Okay. So while the party takes a midday break, this is a convenient spot for us to take our midway break. So thank you to everybody who's been hanging out and watching this very tense situation. I wasn't really sure where they were going to go with this tonight, so we'll see what happens in the second half, but thanks for hanging out with us. Go get yourself some refreshments, walk your dog, whatever, and we will be back in a few minutes. Thanks, everybody. Hello, everyone. We are back from our break. We hope you enjoyed your break. Got some snacks and drinks and all that stuff. Nancy ordered food because her dog ate the last food that was in the house. We are back for the second half of the show to see what the group does to their prisoner as they are now approaching the foothills of the mountain range and trying to figure out where they're going and what they're doing with themselves. So yeah. I believe you were just setting up camp for the next midday rest out of the heat. Mm-hmm. And action.
I think we're just gonna have to take watches again.
Yeah.
I'll do the first watch.
Okay.
Do that.
You look spiffy in your new coat.
Thank you. It's a 20.
Okay. You're now sort of at the very edge of, desert foothill sort of mingling, I guess, with the progress that you made. You now can see kind of the same vegetative quality that Nautia saw from farther away. It's sort of this scrubby chaparral, still arid, but slightly less awful in terms of the heat and everything than the wide open desert was. You imagine as you go up into the mountains, it might get progressively more pleasant and you could travel at a more normal time than having to do this sort of night-day thing. Yeah, so that's what you see. Nothing comes to bother you all while you're camping. Anybody?
Question during his watch. During this time, have I picked up everybody's names? I know we didn't do introductions, but have you all been trying to avoid saying each other's names, or have I been able to pick up who you all are?
I don't think Kay would have thought that far ahead. She's probably just babbling people's names left and right.
Sure. Okay. So
sorry, team.
Well, and you for sure know that the one you killed is Cedric because they've said that.
Sure.
A bunch.
Yeah. So at some point during Fletcher's watch, while it looks like the other two have probably dozed off or whatnot, I'll just kind of, Fletcher. Got a moment?
For you, not really.
I'll just keep talking. He meant a lot to you all, didn't he?
Watching the horizon.
Yep. I know this won't bring any solace, but there was nothing personal about it. You all came across my place of business. I have my interest to protect. It being him was a roll of the dice.
Boo!
You're asleep. Shush. I want you to know that despite our differences, despite the animosity between us, I respect him as a warrior and as a dwarf. If you want someone to do the rites, I will do them and then go back into my bag. That's all. Just kind of roll over and get myself some sleep.
I mean, I heard him. I didn't respond to him, or I think probably didn't even make any kind of indication that I heard him, even though I did.
Okay.
Just looking out.
Cool. Okay.
And then towards the end of my shift, when it's getting towards the early afternoon, the start of the heat, before we change to the next person and I'm going to settle down, is there a noticeable difference yet in temperature? Have we gone up any kind of elevation, or is there, because of the vegetation, is there a little more soil accumulation? So there's a little more temperature regulation. Do I notice any difference yet?
Yeah, it's going to be gradual.
Yeah.
Sorry, trying to type at the same time. Yeah, it's going to be gradual, but like you can tell that it's starting to get
a little better. Okay. Yeah, hopefully then within like the next day we might even be out of the worst of the midday heat.
Okay. Who is taking the next watch?
I guess I will.
Okay, make a perception check for me.
15.
Okay. Kay and Fletcher, when you switch places to do your watches, the bag is flat. And there's no dwarf head poking out of the hole anymore.
God damn it. I have that sparkly javelin thing, right?
Yes, you do.
I poke the bag with the stick.
You poke the bag with the stick. It's a bag.
There's nothing in it. She like picks the bag up with the stick and like flops it around.
Nothing in the bag.
Fletcher, weren't you watching?
Yes.
And
I didn't hear or see anything. But if we probably need to act really quickly if we're going to try to see if he went somewhere.
I guess we wake Nautia up, or I wake Nautia up.
Yeah.
So the dwarf butt face is gone.
I don't have one that says butt face.
Hey, today's name is Buttface.
I don't have one that says butt face. I can put up sunshine though.
Put up sunshine.
I'll pop up and look.
I missed that it said chuckles
Is
before.
that
That's
going to be
fantastic.
perception or is it going to be search?
Okay. Yeah, your perception. What was the total on top of that nat 20?
Let me check real quick.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to matter because my perception check was just a 13.
That's moved silently. For this?
It's a combination of the two, but yeah, if her perception was only a 13, it doesn't matter. So
Sorry, so real quick, combination of
move silently and hide.
And hide. Okay, so I would have had a 22.
So,
Okay, yeah. Nope. You don't see anything that makes you think of that dwarf or any of the animal shapes that he could potentially turn into. Not any of the ones you saw, at least.
damn it. Can I go back down and look for tracks coming out of the bag?
Yeah, you can, but as you, like, start to have that thought, you remember what you noticed earlier, that he doesn't leave tracks.
Right. Looking around, just sort of looking in the general vicinity, if I was going to try to, so I'm thinking like roll a survival check, basically, if I was going to try to sneak off and hide in this area, where would I go?
Okay.
Can I roll that?
Sure.
16.
Okay, like, there's lots of scrub around, and because you're getting into the foothills of the mountains, like, there's obviously uneven terrain, and you also, because you've seen this form from him, and you have wings yourself, and you have a bird friend, you're like, oh, and also there's the sky, so you're like, he could have done any number of things, either on the ground or
Really have stealthed out as a eagle, though? They didn't see that? Damn it.
I mean, you don't know if he stealthed out as an eagle, but it's one option.
Yeah, I'm assuming something small, because if he was bigger, I would assume it would have gotten Fletcher's attention, but I guess
I will say there's
not.
no damage to the bag.
Yeah. The bag
I'm
is...
assuming-
Apart from the
There's
damage you
something?
all did to it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm assuming
assuming
something small.
I'm assuming with no sound and no damage or anything, any change in all of our things, I'm thinking something like a snake.
Wow, what a great guess. That's interesting.
Hey,
called
stomp
it.
on the bag real hard. Stomp on it. Stomp on the bag.
I poked it with a stick.
Yeah,
Stomp on it.
Okay, Kay
Smash
runs
it.
over and stomps on the bag.
You stomp on the empty bag.
There's nothing. I don't think there's. She like picks the bag up and like flips it inside out and
Yeah.
like shakes it.
Yes, since you guessed it, it was a viper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with wild shape, because like so druids don't. When they wild shape, do their clothes shape with them, or are they shed?
Yes,
No,
that's
everything-
why.
Yeah.
That's
All
the reason for no metal
equipment.
armor is it's all absorbed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that means some part of that snake still consists of the underwear that we left him in.
Yep.
Technically.
Yes. What?
Because we spent a lot of time around him, and I have locate object.
Oh dear.
Okay.
So I have seen this underwear.
Let's go. Let's
Oh
go.
my God, you guys. Okay.
So if that's some part of him, he may already be too far away. Like, that's entirely
Oh
possible.
my God. Okay.
I love this.
Hey,
I
Cheryl,
love it too.
did you put that one on your bingo card for today?
that was not on my bingo card.
Track via underpants.
So
You guys-
I
Wait, it's a good
get-
thing we left those on, right?
Track via underpants.
Yeah.
I did say that he was going commando last time, but I will amend that for the story here.
Well, I thought we had a conversation where I asked what he was wearing under the robe, and then you guys were like, "Oh, we'll put clothes on him or something."
Oh, okay,
But
sure.
anyway.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So locate object.
Uh-huh.
Being a level 4 wizard, I get a 560-foot circle centered on me to detect the direction of a well-known, clearly visualized object. Picturing what spent hands-on time putting his body in to dress him. Like, I know these things.
I'm
he
so
was
sorry you
wearing.
have to think about this in your
I
mind's
know.
eye.
Okay, you said it's how big?
560, I think.
560-foot circle.
Okay, what was your speed?
I mean, some of this would depend on how long it's been
Yeah.
since I. As the Viper, my speed was very slow, 15 feet.
Yeah.
But then, as my second form, let me look it up real quick. Sorry, I know it's fast.
Yeah.
In 5, don't you get like a limited number of transformations?
hmm
Yeah. He has a limited.
You do
number.
in 3.5 as well.
Yeah.
It's just it reset. 80 in my other form.
Wow. Okay.
Average. 80 average.
That's what the land speed says. So if you're sprinting in a straight line, you do 4 times that in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So
So I'm gone.
yeah, no, yeah, that's you could have made. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't sense it within your circle. There are no underpants within your circle.
And at this point, he's rested enough that I couldn't take him down easily either. Too many hit points back. Can I pop back up and look farther around to see if I can see movement?
Sure.
23.
You're not sure. You look around, you even sort of like buzz a bit in each direction. You're not sure. There's just too many options.
So now what?
You just see Nautia just fly off for a minute.
Remember that time when I was like, we should just kill him in the mine, and y'all were like, no, don't kill him in the mine. He can lead us to his place. And I'm like, well, maybe he'll like not do that.
Okay, we were willing to try to take the chance. Because, yeah, I'm sure he would have probably gladly killed all of us, but we didn't necessarily feel that we needed to kill him. No matter what happens, I mean, we're better than him. We're still better than him. We were willing to take that chance, and so now we have to make a new plan.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess what's our plan now? I mean, we're not just gonna like wander into the mountains with a dead body on us, right? So
No.
Nadia, what direction did you go?
Up.
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 Okay.
And then start going up over the mountains because I want to see if there's any signs of life, of like people.
Yeah.
Because if it seems like maybe there's a destination here that we can use for Cedric, then we keep going this way, because my next thought is turn right around and go just destroy that fucking mine.
Okay. Give me another perception check as you do your flyover.
That one's only 15.
A 15. Okay. You fly over the mountains and you spend a bit of time, maybe even, swooping down and looking around, and you, far off from where you are, and so you're not like entirely certain, but it's an odd enough shape that it catches your eye. You see something flying for a moment, and it sort of flies and then glides out of your view, but it looked like it had wings, but not shaped like a bird. It looked more like you, but bigger. So like a humanoid body with wings, like arms and legs and wings. So it seems like you might have seen some other kind of person up here.
Is it... I'm going to say, like, is it something I've seen before? Because I don't have a clear enough view to see if it is...
Yeah.
To see details that would identify. I'll keep going in that direction then.
Okay. For how long?
Couple of minutes, I guess. Like, I'm gonna... I don't want to get too far from them. I don't want to just, like, be way up high and super obvious. Like, I'll need to stay down toward the terrain a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to know. I want to see if I can at least see what it is.
Okay. So you spend a few minutes sort of flying up more, and you do notice that, like, even though these mountains are kind of steep on the edges, like, there is still enough of, I'm not saying there's not, like, an established path, but, like, you can see paths or routes that you could take even with the cart that would be manageable if you did want to go up in here. So it's not so steep as to be impenetrable. What did you say, 15? Yeah, you don't see anything else for certain, but like I said, you saw that shape sort of like flapping and then sort of like glide and then be obscured by, the terrain.
And did it seem like it was running from our direction, or did it seem like it was something that just happened to be there?
It seemed more like it was something that happened to be there. It was flying more sort of like parallel to the mountain range, but above, right? It wasn't flying like, east-west kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do a few more minutes toward it then.
Okay. This is interesting.
This could go very badly for me.
Maybe. So
another one bites the dust.
move my food.
I hope not. Please don't die. That would suck. It would just be
Fury
me and Fletcher.
desperation are just they're weird.
Okay, so as you are flying, you hear the whistling of something coming towards you, and you spin around in time to see it looks like it wasn't aimed at you, or if it was, it missed pretty broadly, but an arrow goes flying past you, and you turn in the direction that it came from, and there is a person in the air and now starting to glide, who has a bow that he is sort of taking away from his feet. And he has these 2 large white feathered wings, and otherwise looks like a very tall, lanky Fletcher, tall, lanky K, a person, a human. But yeah, very, very thin, very, very long, and with these white wings, and his head has white feathers on it as well. And he's wearing just like a really simple shirt, breeches, and no shoes.
I'll like turn and stop and hands up.
Name yourself.
I'm Nautia. I'm looking for an enemy and a friend, I guess.
One and the same?
No. My friend is dead. The man who killed him was going to take us to someone who could help, but then he ran. I don't know what to do. Hi.
He sort of like keeps watching you as he like glides over and sort of lands on like a ledge, and you realize that sort of next to where he landed is a young woman, similar in appearance, big white wings, white feathers on her head. She has kind of like a ruff of feathers around her neck as well, and the outermost feathers on each of her wings, because she does have them spread a little bit. They appear to be able to be folded behind their backs very neatly, like a bird, but she has her wings spread a little bit, and you can see the outer feathers on her wings, an alternating pattern. The feathers have been dyed sort of like a forest green. And you can see and hear them having a short conversation and sort of like gesturing to you.
Yeah, I'm kind of keeping enough distance so like I can jet if I need to.
Mm-hmm. The young woman looks up at you and says, "So you're looking for someone bad?"
Yes, and maybe someone good if they're around. You know anyone? I don't know. Yes.
She sort of like stops and like looks at her dad and looks at you and looks at her dad and she's like, Dad's a little suspicious, but like our policy is to at least, meet people first. So like, I guess you can come talk to us, huh?
That's good. That's good. Good
Yeah.
people are good. Bad people. I don't like bad people.
No, yeah. And he's sort of like shaking his head and like mutters something to her in their own language and is like, if you're in trouble, you can at least come talk to our elders and we can understand what the situation is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have friends that are still out in the desert, and there's a bad dwarf who's also... He can be animals, and so he ran away. I don't know if he's going to go back for them. I guess I'm out in the desert. They're in the...
What's a dwarf?
They're like humans, but closer to my size.
What's a human?
Oh, you haven't met any of them. Oh, they're all just people,
Mm-hmm.
They're from other places. They came here. They're weird. How far are your elders? I may need to go back and make sure my friends are okay.
Our Eyrie is here in the mountains. If you need to go get your friends, I can send...
They can't fly like me.
I can send Ija with you, and he indicates the younger girl next to him. She can lead you up to the Eyrie.
Oh, okay. Is it far from the foothills? It may be very... I don't know. There may be a bad animal on the loose somewhere. But I should probably go back to my friends.
Okay, do you want me to come with you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please. Thank you.
I can't fly like what you're doing is actually really cool. But I can sort of like glide and hop and like I'll just you go, I'll follow.
Okay.
It's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I'll start making my back and keep an eye on her to make sure she can keep up.
Okay, yeah. So the young woman whose name he said was Ija, she sort of, you can see here, she'll like sort of like hop or climb up things, whether it's like a shrub or a piece of rock, and then sort of spread out her wings and glide for a pretty good distance and land, and then sort of like continue that process of sort of like situating herself in such a way that she has the height to continue gliding down after you. And the two of you make it down the side of the mountain. What were the rest of you doing while that was happening?
Well, did Nautia? I don't know. I guess how far away did she get? Like, were we able to like track her, and then she disappeared? Like, she got so small, so far away.
Yeah.
So we didn't see any of that. So now we'll see two things in the air, kind of approaching back towards us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I guess I would assume we would recognize Nautia in the air as they got close.
Yeah, you've seen her fly enough that, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Nautia's coming back, but is she being chased? Is there something behind her?
She doesn't really look like she's like trying to get away from it. She like squints into the distance.
You'll probably see her sort of slow or sort of loop a little bit to just sort of look back at her shoulder, but not in like I'm being chased way.
I don't know. She seems pretty relaxed, so.
And then we probably see the figure like land and have to awkwardly climb again, and we're like, oh,
yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, so the figure is not actually awkward at all. She seems very quick and graceful in her climbing attempts or in her jumping attempts. It's like she does this all the time. But yeah, it's not a pursuit, as it were. It just appears that she's sort of casually glide following Nautia. Yeah. And eventually, first Nautia arrives at the camp, and Ija is sort of continuing to glide follow behind you.
Well, that doesn't look like a dwarf.
I didn't find him, but I maybe found friends.
That's better than nothing, I guess.
I mean, I want to go back and just break the hell out of that mine, but like also Cedric.
Like also Cedric.
Well, if you ran into them over there, they must live around here where we were being
led. They live up there. That's why I thought maybe they might know. So do
they know how to bring people back from the dead, or should we just bury them here?
Well, let's find out. Or if they know someone who is in the mountains, and if they
said we
don't
could
know
talk
anything.
To their elders, but I didn't want to just leave you here.
Thanks. That's very kind.
While you're having this whole conversation, the young woman has landed on the ground and is standing sort of a respectful distance away from you. She's definitely, like, checking you out. Like, a lot of her mannerisms are a little bird-like, the head moving from side to side, and she's looking at all of you, but she doesn't seem to be trying to, like, actively eavesdrop or anything.
I sort of wave her over. And what was the name again?
Ija. Ija.
Ija. That is not how I was going to spell that.
Okay.
I am like 0% on spelling any of last names correctly.
No worries. That's D&D.
All right.
I don't... You didn't, you named yourself to my father, as Nautia?
Nautia. Mm-hmm.
And you are? And she turns to the two of you.
Okay.
I'm Fletcher.
I'm Fletcher.
I am Ija Raintail of the Arid Peak clan, and I am here to guide you strangers to the clan so that the elders can meet you and understand your situation.
I don't know how. I don't think we can catch him. So I think maybe. What do you think?
I think it's worth going and
Yeah,
seeing if they know of anything about what may or may not be in the mountains, and if it's not true, then we can decide what to do next after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm for that. I mean, I'm not gonna friggin' try and chase a stupid eagle all throughout the desert.
So,
Anyway,
Ija,
he's probably going back to his mine.
Yeah, we can blow that up later.
so Ija, we have another friend with us here, and I kind of gesture over to the cart and everything. I say, we lost our friend.
Our friend was murdered.
Oh.
The person who killed him, we had captured him, and he was leading us somewhere that he said somebody could help bring our friend back, but he just escaped not that long ago. We don't know where he went or what form he might be in, but that's basically the situation we would want to discuss with your elders.
That's
A lot.
a lot.
Yeah, I know.
That is a complicated situation. I can certainly bring you to them, and they can talk to you, and I don't really know what they can do, but I mean, they'll talk to you.
They might know something in the area, maybe.
They are they're old and wise, and they will talk to you and figure it out. Sorry, I haven't done this much.
That's okay. We haven't either.
Are you okay to travel now? Okay. You do not have wings like her. So you can't.
No, and we've got the cart, so we have
No,
they have to go by land.
Yeah.
Okay. It's easier for me to walk up to. The gliding up doesn't work quite as well. It takes longer.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, I can lead you up a way to get to our eyrie.
All right.
Yeah, then we can head out.
Okay. So sorry, scrolling through my notes. Okay.
Just fast forwarded through some of your stuff, didn't I?
No, kind of, but it's fine. We made it work anyway.
You were ready.
We don't tell those kinds of secrets. I have a terrible poker face, yes. All right, so she begins leading you up through the mountains, and yeah, the path is again, not like established, but it is doable. You have to sort of do some switchbacks and things like that, navigate around rocky crags and vegetation and stuff like that, but you can do it. And as you climb further up, as both Nautia and Fletcher had noticed earlier, there are more pockets of shade that are a little less arid and a little cooler than the desert and then the surroundings. But even still, as you climb, the heat just generally lessens around you. So you're no longer at risk of heat exhaustion or what we were using the mechanic of those fortitude saves. So yeah, you continue making your way up, and I'm going to wait for Nancy to get back from getting her food, because you get to a point where, and Ija has explained to you as you've been moving, like, I'm just sort of approximating. I haven't really been down all the way to where you were in the foothills before, so I'm just sort of making my best guess, but I think this is a good route to take, and I always know where north is, so we're not going to get lost. We just might take sort of like a long way, if that's okay.
I'm actually, as we're traveling, I was planning on just like popping up periodically and looking around anyway. Mm-hmm. Sort of doing my usual periscope thing, but more frequently than usual.
Sure, yeah. Go for it.
No. 12.
12. Okay, yeah, I mean, again, it's very unfamiliar terrain, and it's got a lot of sort of like rock bits and plants and stuff, so it's, yeah, you're just not getting a good view of what all of your options are, but like, again, she's not doing a great job of sort of like, you know, she doesn't seem like she's hiding anything. Let's put it that way. And yeah, so you do your periscope thing, but you're a little distracted yet because you're still trying to figure out what all's going on. But she continues leading you upward, and then at one point, the only way that seems passable with the cart is a bit of, it seems like a tunnel-ish kind of thing. So, and you can see the other end of it sort of up the slope a little bit and to the left of where you're currently standing. So you're sort of at this opening, and you can see sort of where this tunnel-ish thing opens above you. So it's not like if you went into it, you would be lost forever. And she's sort of looking around and looking at the ground on either side of it and looking at the wheels on the cart, which you get the feeling she might not be really familiar with wheels. And it's just like, you can't drag that thing up over here, can you? The floor in here looks like it might be the easiest. Is that okay?
I think so.
How well can our two dark vision people see into the tunnel?
Yeah, I mean, you can see into it. It's a rocky tunnel, and like many of the sort of tunnels or overhangs or other moist patches that you've seen around, there's some vegetation and some fungi sort of growing in it. But yeah, it seems very much like all of those other patches that you've passed before. Anywhere that there's shade, a little bit of moisture stays, and different things can grow there.
I don't know. Looks like we can make it. We dragged him this far. I'm not about to give up now.
And now we do have all three of us to handle the cart too, going up this incline. So
yeah.
Okay. So you head into the tunnel. It's a little narrow because, like I said, there's a lot of sort of stuff growing around, including, and again, this is something you've sort of seen in other patches, like mushrooms that are quite a bit larger than a lot of the ones you've seen, although Gary was quite large. So these are much closer in size.
Yeah, are they myconid large, or they just...
Yeah, some of them, well, I mean, the myconids came in different sizes depending on what part of the circle they were, or what member or caste level within the circle they were. But yeah, some of these are like Gary sized, although they don't look anything like Gary's coloration. Gary was, if I remember correctly, like a fly agaric with red with white spots. So these are more of like purpley gray. But yeah, there are some that are more his or their size, sorry. And so you might have to sort of almost single file it, or maybe, you know, you can go side by side in here, but there are a lot of these very large mushrooms that you're going to have to sort of walk between to get through the tunnel.
Can I do a knowledge nature check about the mushrooms in here?
Sure.
was a nat 20. And so with my bonus, it's 26.
Wow. Okay. So you might have to hold your lantern up in order to be able to see them well, since it is kind of dark in here. But they're all purple. But you notice that some of them, while at first glance they all look the same or the same species, some of them are those tentacles? Some of them look a little like they have some extra bits that like a normal mushroom, in addition to like the stalk and the cap, there are some other structures on these things that seem a little strange. But again, like Arda is relatively unexplored, and so what exactly these things are is out of your realm of access in terms of knowledge. But yeah, they have some not normal mushroom parts on them. This isn't just like that little skirt that's left behind after the egg of some mushrooms opens. This is, like I said, more tentacly.
I'm definitely going to point that out to them and be like, there's something different about some of these fungi in here, and based on other things we've seen, it usually means it's some kind of defensive thing. I think, and Ija was going through this tunnel with us, right? I'm going to ask her, say, Ija, you're from these mountains. I imagine there's lots of little caves and wet places around you. Do you know anything about these mushrooms in here that have these tentacle appendages on them?
So I had assumed that you hadn't actually walked in yet. Is that true? Or were you already making your way in?
No, I assumed we were approaching the cave.
So you haven't gone in yet.
Yeah, so I was seeing these things basically around like the mouth of entering this tunnel is what I was picturing.
Okay, yeah. And in that case, she's like, oh, yeah, oh, well.
Are these gonna hurt?
Well, you all...
Or would we hurt?
I don't know. You all said that you're out here, and I've never seen anyone like you before, so you must be, brave? And I don't know how far away you came from. You said your friend in the cart is dead, so I don't know how good you are at defending yourselves, but those are, well, the ones that are just mushroomy
How
shaped,
do they hurt?
Yeah, the ones that are mushroomy shaped will just yell really loud. But then the other ones
are people too?
Huh?
Because we've met some that are people.
Oh,
we've met mushrooms that are people. Are they people too?
Oh, no, I've never seen a mushroom that was a person. That's cool. But
they're very nice.
The tentacly ones will grab you and try to eat you. And she's sort of doing grabbing motions with her hands.
That might not be a good idea then.
Can you light them on fire, Fletcher? Like all of them? Like just clear the whole cave out?
Yeah, I guess it would depend on, if it's a long tunnel, we don't know how many of them there are. So we don't know if we could try to like take care of this from outside the tunnel, because they could just be all the way down this tunnel. And so what are we going to do?
Just grease the tunnel and light the grease on fire.
How far are we from the Eyrie?
The Eyrie? It's maybe like, oh gosh, at the speed we're moving, maybe like another, like half an hour? Presuming that we all use the same units of time anyway.
Mm-hmm. Could we like stick a cart and then some of us go up? Not a big fan of tunnels right now.
Do we need to find a different route? if we can't get through this tunnel?
I mean, I can certainly try to look for something else where your cart could go up. I don't know how those brown things, how sturdy are they?
Well, dwarf made them, so
Sturdy
Cedric
doesn't
will tell you
work.
they're very sturdy.
I mean, so I did tell you that when Nautia found it, it was a collapsible cart, and she sort of like popped it into...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, one of those little like pop-up carts, and I'm like, that thing will just come right apart.
Yeah, it's not like the best cart ever. You get the impression he might have like carried it in on his back or something like that, so it's, yeah.
Well, is there... Oh, do you know of a way, or do your people have a way that you normally deal with these dangerous fungi? Like if they start appearing near where you live, do you have a way to that you know it works really well?
She sort of like puts a thumb back behind her, and you can see a quiver of arrows and a bow. She's like, I mean, you can like fight them. But like I said, I don't know how good you all are at defending yourselves. So I mean, if you'd rather not fight them, I'll look for another way around.
Pretty scrappy. I'm just not sure if the cart's gonna make it.
It'll make it through the tunnel, but the routes next to the tunnel are where it would like really fall apart, right? It's like super rocky around the tunnel.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's only a
Like,
half
are
hour,
they
can
gonna
we just
go
carry Cedric?
And we could do the sling and also fight off the tentacle mushroom.
If it were like 4 mushrooms, I'd be like, sure, fine. But if it's a whole tunnel lined with them, so we're facing like hordes of mushrooms.
With your light, Fletcher, there are a lot of purple mushrooms in this tunnel. Some of them are more sort of like quote unquote normal mushroom size, and then they get sort of progressively bigger. So there are a lot of big purple mushrooms. But you were only able to notice the weird tentacly bits on 2. So like when you had seen it on the first one, you were kind of like, oh, maybe that one's just sort of strange, like, mutated in its growth in some way. And then you saw the second one and you were like, oh, maybe there's a pattern. So you can see 2 with your light held up looking into the tunnel.
Should I just the start of the tunnel? So those 2 I can see are like just at the start of the tunnel.
They're a little ways in, and some of the not tentacled ones are, sort of in front of them, if that makes sense. Like there are some of the big ones without tentacles closer to the entrance than the ones with tentacles. They seem to sort of be nestled in amongst the ones that they look very similar to.
Okay.
I don't really want to fight any fungi. I don't know about the rest of you.
It's probably our fastest route.
I mean, unless, like, she finds something and we just sling Cedric between the 3 of us and just walk up the hill for a half hour.
Might be kind of rough terrain for dragging.
Okay, fine.
But I have my staff and you have your sickle.
Yeah, and then we get dragged away by a tentacle monster that swallows us whole, who's going to be doing the swinging and the shooting.
Well, we do now know what to look for, so we can advance very carefully, looking at the walls as we go. Ija told us that some of them are going to be making a very loud noise, so we can stuff our ears before we go in to not be distracted, and just basically inspect and take things out as we move along.
I mean, they can't be nearly as loud or as obnoxious as Chuckles was, so... I mean, if we manage to survive his banter for how long without going arguably insane, how bad can some mushrooms be?
And we can leave the cart down here while we clear the tunnel and then come back for the cart. So we're also not dealing with that. So we go about it very systematically, going in, and we know what we're going into, since Ija knows these things.
Okay.
It's our fastest way.
All right. Well, I hope someone likes eating mushrooms because we're gonna have a whole lot of
Actually,
them.
did you say the cart breaks down small enough to carry?
Yeah, you can sort of like dismantle it and fold it up. Yeah, because that's how you found it.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, if we pull him out, then I sort of put it back the way I found it. All right.
So,
All right.
so you folded up the cart and you are now doing.
So are
I'm
we
thinking
leaving-
I can either hide it near the tunnel, or one of us could try to carry it.
I think
why-
Fletcher should
no, wait,
fire
we're gonna
blast.
no. Sorry.
Why are we taking Cedric
sorry.
out of the cart if we're going to clear the
Warren,
tunnel so that we
because-
can keep him in the
Yep.
cart?
Nope. Yep.
Okay.
You're right. I just
Okay.
mixed it up in my head. It's fine.
Okay.
Don't mind me.
Okay.
Just totally crossed things. Go for it.
Fine. So we want to leave Cedric in the cart at sort of the start,
Okay.
and then systematically work our way to clear the tunnel. Is that what we want to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
And we
Fletcher
need to-
should just fireball the whole thing. Doesn't he have that whole like fire ray of
Fireball.
doom? Okay, but you have that fire ray of doom thing.
Yeah, that'll hit one thing at a time.
Oh, it doesn't just keep going throughout the tunnel?
No.
Oh, he's
Oh.
not that level yet.
Yeah, I don't have like AoE spells yet.
No.
I'm not that strong of a wizard yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Kay has a disappointment.
Someday he
Can
can
we
just
just,
fireball
like-
everything and it will be fine.
We can just put some grease down and then start a fire the old-fashioned way and wait for it to go through the tunnel.
I don't think he can do that much grease, can he?
No, it would be a very little spot, and then the tunnel is dank and wet. And I don't think the fire would go anywhere.
Okay.
But we can stuff our ears
Mm-hmm.
and then start into the tunnel.
Yeah.
And then I guess I'll turn to Ija too and be like, Ija, you don't feel any kind of obligation. If you're willing to help us through this, that would be wonderful, but I don't want anything to happen to you while we are approaching your village to ask help from your people. So I don't feel like you need to do anything to help us.
I'm a scout of the Arid Peak clan. I can certainly hold my own and help you if you need it.
That would be
I like her.
wonderful.
Would you like to join us?
You don't get an NPC friend to just go everywhere with you. We're not
You don't
doing
get a
that.
companion.
No.
Why not? I like her better than the last person we invited.
You had someone in your party and you treated him so poorly.
You also invited Tulip to go with you. Like, you've invited everybody to go with you. The screen's not big enough.
So yeah, let's
I guess that's the plan.
Okay.
onward and upward.
Okay, so basically, if you are going to fight them off, I will give you the equivalent of, like, a surprise round so you can all do something, and then we'll go into initiative order and whatever. In fact, let's roll initiative now, and that way we can just have everybody do their surprise round in that order as well. What's your initiative, Ija? Oh, she fast. Okay. Not that fast. And then... Okay. Alrighty. Anybody above a 20? No. Okay. 15 to 20?
I did. I got a 15.
Oh, you got a 15, Fletcher?
18.
Oh, 18.
19.
Oh, gosh. Okay. 18, Nautia. And Kay, you got a 15?
Yep.
So Fletcher, you are up first, so you can take an action in the surprise round.
Okay.
I will move you onto the... Boop. Now you should be on the right board in roll 20 to be able to see said tunnel and said fungi.
I think that I'm... Let me go into roll 20.
So many purple fungi. I love them.
I'm going to fire at one of the tentacle bearing fungi first. That I could see from like the mouth of the cave or of the tunnel. So I think I'll go with the one on the left-hand side of the tunnel.
Okay.
With the tentacles.
Mm-hmm.
But not moving into the tunnel at all, being able to see where it is, sort of near the mouth. I'm going to cast Magic Missile at it.
Okay.
So I get to do, let's see, to fire 2 missiles that each do 1d4 plus 1 force damage.
Okay. And they are auto hits.
Yep. That's 7 damage.
7 damage to the one on the left. Okay. Cool. Nautia, what would you like to do?
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, I guess I'll try. Which one did you just hit,
He hit the one on the left.
Fletcher? One on the left?
The left side of the tunnel.
I will shoot an acidic blob at the same one.
Okay.
No saving throw. Oh, ranged touch attack.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah, that's what you shot at Mafock's back last time, too.
Yeah.
Range touch.
Yeah. Which means I add...
Dexterity.
That'll only be a 13.
That hits.
All right. Where's the original? Okay, 2d4. Oh, goodness. Okay. 4 points of damage.
4 points of damage. Okie dokie. Oop. Alrighty. And then it's Kay's turn.
I guess I will shoot an arrow at it.
Okay.
At the same one that everyone else has been attacking.
Same one that everybody else is attacking. Cool beans.
I got a 20
Yep.
something. Okay. And then damage is 1d6, which is the cube one.
It is the cube one.
I never hit, so I was unprepared.
Oh.
5.
5. That is enough to knock it down. So
Goodbye, mushroom.
your onslaught of attacks from the three of you, it sort of like shrivels up a little bit, and like the tentacles kind of, and it doesn't seem to be in good shape anymore. And then for Ija's surprise round, she is gonna sort of dart over here, running, not flying, run over there and pull out her short bow and try to hit it. Which she does. And then if she moved, she gets an extra thingy. Wow, yeah, okay. Cool.
Does she one-shot it?
No, but, she does, for using the same kind of weapon as you, Kay, she seems to do more damage to it. You're not exactly sure why, but, yeah. And now we will go into actual initiative with the fungi getting to act. So, Fletcher, it's your turn again.
Did Ija attack one of the shrieker fungi or a tentacle?
They are shriekers and violet fungi. She attacked the other tentacly one. Yeah, the other violet fungus. Yeah.
Okay. I wrote a campaign one time that started with these mushrooms as the first encounter.
Yes. Oh, and she did, the way she moves, she did wind up within 10 feet of the first shrieker, so it begins screaming. I'm not going to do it because Zoom will just block it out anyway.
Imagine
the mushroom, but it's screaming, but it has no mouth.
Okay. Well, so it starts screaming. We stuffed our ears. How loud is that to us, though?
It's pretty dang loud. These things are incredible. And especially you're inside this. Well, you guys are still at the entrance to the cave, but like you can hear it echoing off the walls. It's loud.
I feel like this is overkill. I don't really want to use. I'll just do a ray of frost at the violet fungus on the right. Mm-hmm. I think that's a ranged touch. Yep. It's an 18.
That hits. Damage on your ray of frost.
And it's 2 cold damage.
Okay. Brr. Fungi don't like cold damage. Alrighty. Okay, and then I'm assuming that was it. You're not moving?
I am not moving.
Okay. Nautia, you're next.
Okay. I'm going to move. No, that's not the move button. Gonna move right up here and then hit basically just a line from me to Big Boy and hit that with the breath weapon.
Okay, that shrieker right in front of you starts screaming.
Well, I'm about to hit it with a bunch of acid, so
we won't be screaming for long.
That's a reflex save from the, I assume, stationary mushrooms.
Okay, so the shriekers are just going to take it because they don't actually have a reflex because they can't move. The violet fungus will make the save, or try to make the save, I guess. That's a 10. I bet that's a fail.
Nope.
They're not super dexy. What a surprise. Big old mushroom.
Yeah, oddly enough. It's only 3 points of acid damage, though.
3 points of acid damage. Okay. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Trying to remember if they are because I know there are some things that fungi are not affected by. I don't remember if acid is. I don't think acid is one of the things that they have resistance.
Okay, because the previous hit was also acid.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that's something they have resistance to. So you said 3. Yeah. Alrighty. So your stream of breath weapon goes out and it hits the shriekers, which are shrieking, and it hits the violet fungus, and all of them take the damage. And okay, so you moved, you spat. Okay.
I'm guessing I'm gonna shoot the other tentacle monster from here again. Yeah. 17 plus 6.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. All right, math is hard. I got a 6. I rolled max damage.
Nice. Okay, and your arrow hits it, and it too sort of does that weird like shrivel up and doesn't seem to be. Even if it could have taken its turn next, it would not be able to. Ta-da! You're just like, wow, that was fast. I guess you guys are okay at taking care of yourselves. That's good.
I mean, yeah.
Well, Ija, do we need to take out the screaming ones?
What? I forgot there was.
So I'm like pointing.
Yeah.
I'm like.
I mean, they'll just yell. They can't do anything.
I'll go back and start pulling the cart through.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just pull the
Yeah,
cart.
get the
through.
cart.
That's it.
And just pay attention in front of us going through the tunnel just to make sure we don't see another
Yeah.
violet fungus anywhere.
Yeah, you don't see any more of the tentacly ones on your way through. Good job, friends.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah, you did it.
We were able to kill fungi.
You know what? We have had difficulty with lesser foes.
It's true.
Well, and in real life, fungi are pretty hard to kill sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if you get a plant disease from a fungus, you really can't like cure a plant of a fungus. It's all about prevention for fungal diseases. And interesting little science fact since we're a science podcast.
Science.
Oh yeah, we talk about science.
There's the fungicide. There are very few classes of fungicides and very few fungicides compared to other things like insecticides. And they get used for both agricultural fungus control and human health fungus control. And there's been, because of the way rampant overuse of fungicide in agriculture, there are places where there's documented illnesses and even deaths of people working in agriculture because they contract a normally benign fungus that you can take care of with a fungicide in a person that has become fungicide resistant because of how much the fungicides are being used in agriculture. So like this happened around tulip production in Holland and like the Netherlands and things. They're protecting their bulbs so much that they created fungicide resistant fungi in the field that can then infect people. And now we don't have a way to control those fungi anymore. So it's a little scary.
Sounds not excellent.
No.
Yeah.
That's
Our
really
over reliance on chemicals is killing us in many different ways.
Yeah, that's fun. And yeah, like you're right, killing fungi is difficult because they're just weird organisms. Like their structures are so strange compared to animals and plants. Like
well, and they have so much in similar with us that it's very hard to come up with fungicides that you can't use on a human or another mammal or something without it really harming you too when you're trying to kill the fungus because because they have so many similarities.
Yep.
And then all the resistant structures they can form when they're trying to survive on their own, and it's just crazy diverse, tough little things.
Yeah. And I like the system of the Shrieker and the Violet Fungus working together in the way they're written in D&D, that because like fungi do sort of make partnerships like this IRL as well. In this case, it's the fruiting body, which we know normally would just be the reproductive parts, but in this case they also are active, and the Shriekers make noise that both sort of alerts the violet fungus to the presence of something that they can eat, and also the noise is intended to then attract other things to come investigate the noise, and the violet fungi are actually able to move a bit so they can walk more or less, and they have these 4 tentacles that they can reach out and grab and attempt to kill living creatures, and then both kinds of fungi then benefit from being able to consume the dead body, so they are detritivores like so many nice fungi. So I think it's a cool system that they sort of cooperate together to get food. Yeah, so you make it through the tunnel with no more tentacly purple fungi getting in your way.
Yeah.
And out the other side with the cart. Ta-da! Nice work.
Ta-da!
Woo.
And I didn't lose any more constitution points.
No, you didn't. Alrighty. So Ija continues to lead you up, and yeah, in about half an hour-ish, she's like, okay, we're here now. And you sort of like look around, and the Eyrie, as she called it, doesn't look like much to you at first glance. But as Ija begins to point them out to you, you see fissures in the rock walls of this part of the mountain, and she says they're doorways to caverns and rooms and homes. And as you look around the space, you begin to notice little details that indicate this place is where people live. There are racks bearing stretched animal hides that your eye would have glossed over and assumed were shrubs at first. There are strangely shaped bows like the one, Nautia, you saw Ija's father carrying earlier, leaning against the rocks outside of a number of the fissures and accompanied by quivers of arrows. And then a person or two emerge from the fissures and go about their business in the eerie common space. And so it takes you a moment of her sort of pointing out these details to you, and then you're like, oh yeah, okay, I guess this is a place where people live. So yes, this is the Arid Peak Clan's Eyrie. Welcome, strangers. She seems very
Thanks for
unsure
having
of
us.
what to do now.
Thank you. Thank you for leading us here. I believe it was said we should speak with your elders. If that should be our next stop, we could also leave. We could leave our friend here instead of carting him through your town. If that would be more palatable to your people. I don't know about just bringing a dead body through your town.
Don't know what your customs are.
That's a new one. I don't know.
We can wait if you need to find your father and ask him.
How would I'll go find somebody and bring them to you. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes,
That sounds great.
we will
That
stay
sounds
here.
great.
Okay.
We'll wait right here.
Perfect. And she sort of like the whole vibe you're getting from her, and as she walks away from you, it's very apparent. She's like super nervous and unsure and obviously like very young and hasn't been doing this much, but is like really trying to cover it with this kind of bravado. So she sort of struts off and comes back with a pair of older people, one man and one woman. They are, I guess, now that you're up sort of with these people, like Ija was really tall, like Fletcher's height, and all of these people are very tall and very lanky, and they all have the white feathers on their heads, and the white wings. The man of the pair of people that she brings to you is stooping a bit, and he has a pattern of black stripes dyed into the feathers on his wings, and the tips of his feathers are black. And the woman who accompanies him has a ruff of feathers around her neck, similar to the one that Ija has, if not a bit fluffier, I guess. And she has the pattern of a sunburst dyed into the feathers on her wings, and also the wingtips or the tips of the feathers on her wings are black as well. But they're all dressed very similarly in this incredibly simple like shirt and pants style, and everybody's barefoot. And you can see, again, now that you're seeing more people than just Ija, all of these people, their toenails and their fingernails are much more like claws. They're not talony, not like an eagle, but they are more claw-like, and you imagine that might be what made Ija a good climber when she was sort of making her way down in the first place. And she struts back up to you and says, strangers, these are the elders of the Arid Peak clan, Braga and Sue Starcrest. And then she sort of like looks at them. And they both sort of like look back at her, and the man that she indicated was Braga sort of like smiles a little at her, and he says, hello, strangers. Our young scout tells us you have a complicated situation and are seeking aid?
Yes.
Yes.
So I think just for the sake of not saying the same story again and again,
Mm-hmm.
I think we like introduce ourselves, offer thanks for bringing us in and for Ija helping us, and explain the situation. I think the cart is probably like a little behind us, so we can like motion and explain this whole situation of what's happened and what we're seeking, or what we think that we're seeking that may be in this area.
Okay. So they listen very patiently and with pretty much passive faces. And when you're done, Sue, the woman, says, "So to summarize, you have been journeying across the land. Your friend was killed. You have lost the person who killed your friend, and also you are trying to figure out if there is a way that you could bring your friend back to the world of the living."
Yeah, that about sums it up. Yeah.
And the only clue we had was that perhaps the person who could do that was to the west somewhere within these mountains.
In this direction.
Okay. Did you describe Fluffy to these people?
Sparkle pants?
I gave no description. All I said was that the person I knew was that direction.
Okay. So you've described him to them, and Sue says,
Yeah.
I also would have absolutely specified that he can turn into animals.
Right.
He might be around here. Right. If you encounter him, he's very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would also be concerned about him being a threat to them. If he disappeared and is still tailing us or whatever might be happening, we would want to express to them that he's a threat.
Mm-hmm. So Sue says, "I am unfamiliar with any person matching the description you gave of the enemy you have. I too have the ability to change into a variety of animals and otherwise interact with nature nope, that's Braga that can do that. JK, I'm mixing up my NPCs. Just kidding. He can do that. Anyway, so we are unfamiliar with a person matching that description, but we will keep our eyes out and tell all of our scouts and hunters to do the same." And they sort of look at each other for a moment, and Braga says, "We would like to show you something. Do you want to follow them?"
Yes, after we ask about if it's okay to leave where we should put our cart to not upset anybody or what we should do.
Mm-hmm. Sue says, "I will get a blanket, and then you should bring him along." And so she goes and gets a blanket, covers him, and then indicates that you can bring the cart with you.
We do that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So Sue and Braga lead you up a winding path along the mountainside. At some places, it's so narrow, you feel like you have to hold onto the wall behind you and sort of gingerly pick your footing along so you don't tumble over the edge. In these moments, Nautia and the two who are leading you might feel most comfortable flying, but you do notice the two older people can't hold themselves in the air for very long. So when you saw Ija's father before, he was flapping, right? Ija could only glide. These two older people seem to be able to fly for a moment and then glide. So you guess there's differences in these people's ability to fly and for how long or far they can fly. After traveling up this path for maybe 5 minutes or so, you arrive at a point where the path faces directly into the mountainside and is blocked by large shrubs with odd, rounded, needle-like leaves and dusty blue berries. So we would know them as junipers. And Sue sort of indicates this area and says, "Behind these shrubs is the entrance to a very old place, a temple to our gods. I have spent a lot of time exploring this place and trying to understand how it was used, but the last time it was active was several generations ago. Still, we have protected it to the best of our abilities with the hope that someday it will be used again. The reason we have brought you here is that there is a door I have not been able to open, but which I think might be able to help you. Go inside and look for the word recall above a door. We will be in the Eyrie if you need anything." And they sort of indicate the shrubs, and as if you should enter.
What gods specifically? Do they have names?
Obadhai and Alana, the gods of this place.
That does sound familiar. Thanks,
does?
friends.
What were we looking for?
Yeah.
What was the word? Is it
recall? We're looking for the word recall.
Recall.
Yeah, I stumbled into a temple, a couple of them. It's complicated, but they're all to the same gods. And then we stand on little pedestals, and then something happens.
That sounds familiar. I
Is this
have been in the ceremony room and there are pedestals, yes.
Yeah, and you like stand on them, and then you like fill the troughs off with stuff, and then something happens, like it glows, and then that's it. I don't know.
I have never
I like draw
seen
the
this.
symbol on the ground again.
Yeah. That is familiar, and what you say sounds familiar. I have read it in the texts that are inside, but I have never seen this performed.
You want to come with us?
She
Kay
sort of,
invites literally everyone and
Yeah, you
literally
do.
their mother.
She looks over at the cart and is like, I get the impression that what you must do now is not something I can help you with, although I do wish I could. But we will be here to help you if you have trouble.
Okay. Thanks, friend.
Okay.
I think we say thanks and wave goodbyes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So then we, part the branches on these junipers and see, like, a staircase
Hayes is
dramatically.
like, I got this.
Yeah, so you push the junipers inside, and it's a very dark room, but using whatever means you need to, whether it's your dark vision or your lantern, you eventually see a very large room cut into the stone of the mountain with a high ceiling, straight walls, and a smooth floor. So similar craftsmanship to the other temples you were in, right? It's nicely built. There are simple wooden chandeliers somehow affixed to the ceiling with the remains of like candle stubs in them, stone and wooden seating and tables in the room, and carpets and hides on the floor. Although everything definitely shows signs of age, it's obvious that this temple has been much more well cared for than any of the ones that you've encountered previously. There are 4 doors in this large room, 2 to your right and 2 to your left. A single word is neatly carved into the stone above each door. On your right, you see the word training on the first door, and then the word dwelling on the second door. And on your left, you see the word worship on the first door and recall on the second door. And I think that is where we will call it for tonight. Nancy.
And I feel like I have to say, is this, you said the other temples weren't that well kept up, but what about Rashadan's temple? Let's not insult Rashadan.
No. The part that hadn't been, so if you remember, there was a stairway that would have led down to, he had told you it was like
where
the
he didn't go,
area.
that it was the trials.
Right.
Yeah.
The stairway down, that had somehow collapsed. So
Yeah.
obviously he wasn't able to keep up the downstairs. But yes, the upstairs was fine, of course.
Yeah, I just didn't want to insult
so
Rashadan.
sorry. Yes, you are correct.
Especially with Sharif watching right now.
Yeah.
He was earlier, yeah.
Your temple sucked.
No. Rashadan's temple was also neat.
It
You are
was a
correct.
very well kept temple.
Can you hire like a housemaid? Don't you have like 10 kids? Can't they clean it?
Wow. But yeah, so that has been Arda for today. This was all kinds of interesting. The group tried to adopt yet another NPC or 2. They lost their prisoner.
Fletcher lost our prisoner. It was on his watch.
I nat 20'd my stealth check to get away.
And Fletcher had said that he was intentionally not looking at Mafock.
Yeah,
So
that
between
was
the
the
two.
Mafock
that was the
annoyed
moment.
him enough that he just wasn't looking.
Yeah, when he was trying to like talk to me and me figuring he's trying to convince me to untie his hands, and then things would have been probably a lot worse than him just escaping if I had done that. So I was like ignoring him.
Yeah, no, it made complete sense.
It really does.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he lives to fight another day.
Yeah, but you don't get to join our awesome party.
I don't. It's
So
very sad.
bye. Bye.
And
You're
you're
gonna
just
come
like
back and
out
mess up your
there
thing too.
in your underwear.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going back into the desert in your underwear.
That's
Right.
true. He is going back into the desert in his underwear. But yeah.
Without his robe.
Without his magic
Without my robe. I'm very sad about the robe.
They did leave the weapon in the mine.
He did leave the weapon.
I thought Kay
I
threw
told
it
you
into
not
the
to leave the
river.
weapon in the mine.
I thought
Oh my God.
I remember Kay grabbing it and throwing it into the river in there.
No,
She
you
was
convinced me
very-
not to do that.
Uh,
I was
Yeah,
going
we
to,
didn't
and y'all like,
specifically say it, But well, because basically what it came down to was like it's magic thrown in the river is not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would make it harder for him to get to, but ultimately it would have just been, okay, now the magic axe is in the acid river, just chilling.
Anyway, all I'm saying is that I was like, we should have just killed him. We should have just left him at the entrance, and we should have gotten rid of his magic weapon, and no one listened to me.
Maybe you'll have another chance down the
We should
road.
have smashed his shit up before we left, too.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, we're coming back. We're coming back.
Maybe you'll
I'm
see
not
him
done.
again.
I'm not done with that until thing is gone.
New Quest is inventing some kind of high-power explosive to drop in that mine and absolutely explode it.
Okay.
I've got a few ideas.
That's very exciting. All right. Okay. Yeah. So we are leaving the group at the entrance to another temple. This one is kind of underground, but also not. I don't know. It's complicated. Anyway,
I didn't even have a dream about this one.
It's in the mountain.
It's underground, but also above ground. Anyway, so,
Mountain temple.
Mountain temple. So yeah, next time when we play on Sunday, July 11th, you will get to see
Okay, it's not too far.
what they decide to do in the temple. Okay, it's not too far. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cheryl has to write the temple in the meantime.
I was just like,
Anyway.
please tell me we're not waiting like a month and a half for the next
Right,
game.
yeah, no, yeah, we'll ride the momentum. But yeah, so Sunday, July 11th is the next time that we will be back. And then, yeah, we'll actually be doing 2 in a row. It'll be the 11th and the 18th. And the weekend of the 16th, 17th, 18th, I will be, and Andrew will be as well, playing in a charity live stream on the Of Dyson Dens Twitch channel, supporting a cat shelter. So if you enjoy either of us or both of us, we won't be playing in the same game, but if you enjoy either of us, you can come watch the stream, support the charity, and we'll be playing D&D, but Arda will be back on the 11th and the 18th if that's all you care about. Once again, thank you to Andrew for coming on the show and being bullied and harassed as the bad guy.
I've never had so much fun being bullied and harassed. It was amazing.
You were very mean.
I mean, his character was designed to be
I deserved every bit of
Oh
it.
yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I can't wait until he
No
looks in the
redeeming
mirror or
qualities.
something and sees that he has like
It's
writing
true.
all
I have
over
no
his
way
face.
of knowing that I had crap all over my face.
He's just like walking through the desert with all this crap all over his face, like in his
And-
underwear.
And it sounded like he never washed, because he said he was dirty and
Yep.
grimy.
So it could be years before I realized you put things on me.
It's
Yeah.
waterproof eyeliner too.
There you go.
Hold on a second. I don't know if
the
we have
most advanced
for that.
technology in New
Yeah.
Seychester, waterproof eyeliner.
We have fancy nobles to sell shit to. Come on, don't you think my general store dabbles in makeup?
I'm gonna have to look up what's in waterproof eyeliner now so we can decide.
You can
whether or
enchant
not
that.
that's a
Could be
thing
arcane
in D&D.
eyeliner.
Probably arcane eyeliner. Definitely
Yeah,
a
there we
really
go.
good
Yeah.
use of a magic spell. Anyway,
Definitely, because
definitely.
how else is it supposed to last all night?
yeah, valid. In any case, unless anybody else from the cast has anything they'd like to share with the audience.
Can you make it like a Sephora, but in New Seychester?
Fantasy Sephora.
Please? And it's like all night lipstick, doesn't come off. Like
This is the opposite of a shopping episode, isn't
Yes.
it? It's we're making a
Oh
story.
my God.
around it. Okay.
I want,
Oh,
please
dear.
put a makeup shop, an arcane makeup shop in Arda or in New Seychester.
Oh man. Okay. Well, in any case,
Color changing lipstick, amazing.
you have not explored everything that is in New Seychester. I'm just gonna leave that there. But that is all from us for the night. Thank you so much for hanging out and supporting the show. We appreciate you all very much, and we will see you in July. Bye.
Bye.